going on, y'all? Welcome back. This thing is still playing out. It is because, like we said before, something went wrong here. So it's still going. It's still brewing. What happened? Shedeur, he's good in Cleveland now. But Tom Brady recently responded to Skip, which was a bad move. And Skip just sit up there and let him have it. So we're going to listen to that as well. Skip let him have it, man. Skip, like you sitting up there lying. And I'm calling you out on it. And Skip even said it too. He like stuttered and everything. So like this is still going on. You know what I'm saying? This ain't dying down. It's not. It's gonna die down eventually, but it's not dying down. And shout out to Skip, man, for calling Tom out. The reason, let me tell you this. Skip Bayless. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Top of the morning. Top of the morning to you. Make sure you give us a like. That'll be greatly appreciated. Because Skip is not playing here. He's not, and I'm surprised because Tom Brady is his guy. Like Tom Brady is the reason why Skip and Shannon had a falling out. You know what I'm saying? Because Shannon Sharp used to always critique Tom Brady. In their last argument before Shannon left, he said something about he wasn't first. You know, he was first ballot Hall of Fame, and trying to say that Shannon wasn't. And Shannon got mad about it. He felt disrespected, and that was it. That was the end of their relationship. And Shannon, you know, the rest is history. He went on. So Skip has always bigged up Tom Brady. He always did. And for him to, you know, call Tom Brady out, something is wrong, and he knows it. You know, he said, "I could see you passing up on Shedeur for Ashton Genty. Okay, fine." He said, "I'm not going to be too mad about that. But you let this kid slip to the 5th round and you got a relationship with him. You don't know what type of quarterback he is." He said, "Of course you had a hand in it. Of course you did. You played a hand in the Raiders not drafting him." That kid was set to go to the Raiders, man. He was set to go. Well, really, he was, you know, I'm talking about in the 1st round. It all goes back to, if you go back to LeJontay Wester video, when the Raiders picked, you should have saw they were waiting for Shedeur's name to get called, but it didn't get called. I could see slipping to the 2nd round, but you let this kid slip all the way to the 5th round. That's a backup round. That's not a starter round. You're setting it that the NFL set him up for failure. But we know what's happening in Cleveland. We know he's not leaving Cleveland now. It's just what it is. But if he wasn't who he is, he would be set up for failure. In fact, he is still set up for failure. And Tom, there's no way, like I said, like I'm agreeing with Skip, there's no way that they didn't consult with you. Why not? You're one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it. And you also have a relationship with Shedeur. You know what I'm saying? I know what you said. Well, it don't matter where you get picked. Yes, it does. It does matter when it comes to the money. He missed out on $30 to $40 million. Now I know some people are going to say, well, he made a lot of money between January and now, and endorsements. No, that's besides the point. He was still done wrong because he had a 1st round grade, and somebody lied to him. You know what I'm saying? You know, they saying, well, we would like him to work out at the NFL Combine. Somebody should have told him that, because Cam Ward didn't work out. So let's see what Skip talking about.
Has called me out. I guess he's called me a liar. So I'm about to call BS on Tom Brady, because Tom, you know and I know everything I said about you and Shedeur Sanders is obviously exactly right. I said on the Skip Bayless show, and I tweeted several times, that Tom Brady obviously played a role in the Raiders passing on Shedeur Sanders 7 times in the draft before finally Cleveland took him, as you know, early in the 5th round. 7 times the Raiders passed on Shedeur Sanders. Yet when Tom Brady was asked on the Jake Paul podcast why Shedeur fell so far, he stammered for a second.
Yeah, he did.
And then he said, that's a good question. And then Tom said, I wasn't part of any evaluation process or to see that. I guess meaning that he wasn't at all a part of the Raiders draft process, so he wasn't privy to any inside information about why Shedeur fell so far, so fast. Really interesting. So, soon after Pete Carroll took over as Raiders coach, he said, we're going to build this team up, lean on Tom as much as we possibly can. Smart. Then there was this from the...
Pete Carroll did say that. He said, we're going to build this team around a quarterback position, and we're going to lean on Tom Brady as much as we can. So Tom lying. Hey, Tom, your credibility is shot. Mr. Tom Terrific, your credibility is shot for what you did to this kid. Okay? This kid got class. You know why? Because he could have easily said something about you. He got a lot of class. His dad has a lot of class, but I don't know them like that, but I know behind the scenes they said something about it. They had to have said something. They had to. They got to be looking at you sideways. They got to be, because I'm looking at you sideways. Everybody is. They said that they're going to lean on you as much as they can in that quarterback position because Pete Carroll is building a team around the quarterback position. I'm telling you right now, as Shedeur, a rookie, he's better than Geno Smith. I'm telling you this. I know. Like I said, I've been around watching quarterbacks before Tom Brady was a quarterback because I'm older than he is. Okay? I've seen all the great quarterbacks even before Tom Brady. I've seen the Warren Moons. I've seen the Randall Cunninghams. Okay? I've seen the Dante Culpeppers. I've seen them all. Okay? I've seen them all. I've seen the Phil Simms, the Jess Hostettlers. You know what I'm saying? I've seen them all. I've seen Troy Aikman, Steve Young. I mean, come on, you name them, I've seen them. And then moving forward into modern days, I've seen a great Michael Vick. Because ain't no quarterback could do what he did, and they still can. Ain't no quarterback right now can still do what Michael Vick did. Not one. Not one. Not one. He was the greatest show on turf. I know they called that other team that with Kurt Warner, they called them the greatest show on turf as well. But Michael Vick had a commercial called the Michael Vick Experience. He was called the greatest show on turf. I've seen them all, man. I've seen them all. I've seen Doug Williams win the championship for Washington when they were called the Redskins. I've seen all the great quarterbacks. I know Shedeur reminds me of a lot of them. And I'm going to tell you right now, he's better than Geno Smith. I'm telling you this. You guys are going to lose. I'm telling you right now, y'all losing. There's no way y'all going to win with him. Y'all losing, man. I'm telling you. And I'm not trying to down Geno Smith, man. His time is up. Shedeur is better. And now, don't get me wrong. Geno Smith have a little bit more experience. Yes, he does. So maybe Pete Carroll wanted to go with some, because he might not even know how to evaluate no more. He might need to retire. I heard what Bill Belichick said about Shedeur. That's the great Bill Belichick. I heard what he said. If Shedeur wanted to go back to college right now, and if he wanted to go to another college to prove everybody that he can play, that he can play for somebody other than his father, Bill Belichick will pick him up in a heartbeat. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this. So Tom Brady, he's lying. He's lying, and I'm glad Skip called him out.
New Raiders general manager, John Spytek, who said, looking at a quarterback. We'd be a fool not to involve Tom. Well, obviously, you'd be.
The general manager said, we will be a fool if we're evaluating a quarterback not to look at Tom. Tom did not give Shedeur a good rating. He did not. He did not. He didn't give him a good rating. And he talking about he wasn't involved in the process, and the general manager said, we'll be a fool not to involve Tom Brady. The jig is up. He's lying. He's lying. And I'm telling you guys, I want to go on to something else, but this is keep brewing. It keeps brewing because I believe that there was collusion here. And it's a crime. It's a crime. They shouldn't get away with it. And I'm gonna tell you guys again, there's a Colorado fan that filed a lawsuit against the NFL. I know what some people are saying is laughable, right? Okay, since you say it's laughable, go read the lawsuit. You could clearly see that it's written by a lawyer. Go look. And I know why they're doing it. The reason why they're doing it is because they want to investigate. So now that they got a lawsuit, now he can pay an investigator to go around and find out if there was collusion or not. That's why he's doing it. That's why he's doing it, because this is a legit lawsuit, even though people are saying it's frivolous, but I know why he's doing it. It's a strategy behind it. If you're woke, you're woke. If you're not woke, I can't help you. Okay, some people claim they woke. Not really. Not really. Because as soon as I saw that lawsuit, I said, there's some strategy behind the scenes going on that lawsuit. Somebody got together and they're strategizing. We're going to find out if there was collusion or not. Because there's some players talking. People are talking about it. People know what happened, and they're talking about it. So all you got to do is get those people on your side, and Shedeur got a major lawsuit now. Shedeur got such a major lawsuit, he don't have to play football. He don't. He can retire. After he finished settling with the NFL, he can retire at this point. He don't have to play football no more. He could just go retire and just be a coach, man. Join his dad in the coaching ranks, because he gonna make so much money if he sue that he don't have to play football. That's crazy, because that's what they did to him. Everybody know that, and it's not sitting right with people. So I'm not saying that whoever is suing, I don't think so. But everybody that follow Coach Prime is not stupid, man. You got lawyers. I know lawyers that follow him because they're my friends. You got lawyers that follow him. You got teachers that follow him. We're not just some regular supporters here. And easily one of us could be like, you know what? Let's put our resources together and sue the NFL, not to get anything. We're not to try to get any money. Not to try to get any money here. We wanna open up an investigation so we can get some people on our side to prove that the NFL was colluding. And then present that to Shedeur. Here you go. Now you can sue now. Fuck the NFL. You can sue for $400-500 million or even more, and then you ain't got to play the funky ass football. You ain't got to play because they don't want you there. There's more than one NFL team that I believe that was in on this. So he's behind the eight ball. Even if he want to go to another team, he got to have it in the back of his mind that they fucked him over in the beginning. They literally trying to blackball this kid. It is set up for him to fail. It is. I don't care what the Cleveland Browns are saying. It is set up for him to fail. Even though the coach said he's a first round talent. We know this. And he works hard. Well, why didn't you draft him in the first round? If he's a first round talent. Because there was something going on. That's why. That's what I think. We're not stupid. You know what I'm saying? Some people might be stupid, but I'm not stupid. I'd rather for him to sue for $500, $600, $700, $800 million so he ain't got to play football. Fuck them. That's what I'd rather do. That's what I would be wanting to do. There's some people that know what happened here. They know what happened. Players know what happened. There's some players in New York that are pissed right now. They know what happened because they were told that. They were told what happened. They were told to take him off the board, and more than one NFL owner took him off the board. All he needs is proof that they colluded and he is going to sue. They will have to settle out of court on this one. This won't go to trial. They will have to settle out of court. Trust me, I've been following trials for a very long time. This will not go to trial. They will have to settle out because it'll be a black eye on the NFL because everybody already think the NFL is fixed. Everybody think that. I know somebody, they don't even bet on the NFL no more. They don't even bet because they think it's fixed. So they already have a black eye. So if they want to control this black eye, and actually it can't be fixed now. Like right now, they're like, what can the NFL do to fix what happened to him? There's nothing they can do now, unless he want to sue. But he's not talking about suing. But I just want to let you guys know real quick, that's not a frivolous lawsuit. Go read it. Go read it, and then figure and ask yourself, why is this person suing? Because that'll get the ball started so they can get an investigator. Because this case is moving forward, even though if it could get thrown out, but it's moving forward for them to say to the judge, I'm getting an investigator, and we're going to get some people together to back up this whole collusion thing. That'll open up the investigation. I still say that somebody in the family should contact Trump and have him contact the Justice Department to try to investigate this. That's what I think still should be done. I think the Justice Department should get involved. Collusion is illegal. It's a crime, and it shouldn't be done. They shouldn't get away with that because now they send a message to everybody else in the NFL. We could do what we want to do with you. It ain't about talent. It ain't about your personality. It ain't about your talent. We don't like you. We'll do whatever we want to do with you just because we don't like you. This ain't slavery is over. Fuck y'all, because I ain't scared of these devils. Slavery's over. It's been over. It's been over. Okay? You just can't do what you want to do just because you want to do it. You see what I'm saying? So that lawsuit is not, that I'm just telling you, that lawsuit is not frivolous. That will open up the investigation to see if there was some collusion. And I guarantee you, watch this, the person that signed, I guarantee you. Remember this. Remember I said it. The person that filed it got access to some money. This ain't no regular person. You don't know if this person's a CEO. I ain't gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. I'll let some other big YouTuber tell you. And then you come back. Max did say it. Nah. Look. Watch this. Watch this. Didn't I keep saying it's a collective? It's a collective that opened up that lawsuit. That's a collective. That's not just one person. That's a collective. But y'all don't know that. But I'm not gonna tell you. That's a collective. Eventually, the collective is gonna say something. And I guarantee you can be like, damn, this person is CEO of what? This person sits on the board of what? Hell, y'all just don't know yet. I told y'all they've been talking on Facebook. I told you. They said, nah, we gotta do something. We gotta do something. It was a high. Listen, if I tell you what lawyer said this, y'all not gonna believe me. If I tell you what lawyer had just said that, y'all not gonna believe me. And there's a historic figure that says something too. It's a very historic figure, but he never played sports, but he's involved in baseball. He said something. He said, "Nah, the collective got to get together, and we got to make sure that this don't happen again." It's a collective. So people are saying, "Oh my God, if somebody brought up a frivolous lawsuit." No, they didn't. No, they did not. The idea is that's it. I'm not talking about it no more because we're gonna let it play out. And then the collective, listen, you don't know if one of these people are a billionaire. Y'all just don't know. Y'all don't know, man. This put a bad taste in everybody's mouth. It did. It put a really bad taste because he's a good kid. I could see if he was a bad kid, but he's not. He's not. See, he don't realize how many people got his back. He don't realize it. He don't know. There's some figures out there, some very prominent figures, multi-millionaires that never played a sport that got his back. He don't even know it. He don't even know it, but they do. It is not just because of his father. They just know that he's a good kid, and that can happen to their son. That's why they're worried. And the NFL should not be allowed to get away with this. I don't give a fuck how many times Roger Goodell hugged somebody. You should open up an investigation yourself, sir. See, they trying to save face a little bit. That's why they find the Atlanta Falcons and then they find the coach. They trying to save face, but it's too late. We don't care about you finding them because you didn't find. As far as I'm concerned, he should have got fired. Then I would have been okay with it. But at this stage of the game, everybody knows something happened. Skip Bayless, for him to for him to crash out like this, that means something happened. For him to crash out, and he knows. There's circles around the NFL right now that know exactly what happened. It was a concerted effort. This is what I think. It's a concerted effort to say, no, we're going to embarrass him. Not that they didn't want him, they're going to embarrass him. This is what was being said. That's wrong, yo. It's illegal.
An absolute idiot not to involve Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., the greatest quarterback ever.
Okay, so he said people will be a fool not to involve Tom Brady. You'll be a fool. Even the general manager said it.
I mean, we're talking about the GOAT, who's now a Raiders owner.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Tom is close friends with Mark Davis, the majority owner of the Raiders. And he's also very good friends with John Spytek because they played briefly together at Michigan, and then Spytek was an executive in Tampa who actually helped get Tom to Tampa, where he obviously got kicked out the back door in New England, went straight to Tampa in the pandemic year, and took a 7-9 team to a Super Bowl championship. Spytek was a part of that. And most important to this question is that Shedeur Sanders became the most debatable player by far in this draft. I've been doing this, covering the NFL for almost 50 years. I think he was the most debatable lightning rod player in the history of the National Football League draft. I said he was the best quarterback from the start before the college football season started. Mel Kiper ranked Shedeur 5th overall, one slot ahead of Cam Ward.
Yeah, Mel Kiper ranked Shedeur, and I'm talking about all the players in the draft. Mel Kiper been doing this for many years. He's been doing this since the 70s. Like him and Skip Bayless, they've been doing this before I was like damn near born, yo. They had him, Mel Kiper had him number 5 overall in the draft ahead of Cam Ward. He had him number 5. I mean, I have seen this kid throw the ball 50 yards into a damn garbage can, yo. I've seen him do it. I don't know how he did that. He did it on the first fucking try. Go look at the video. Go look. He did it on the first fucking try. His arm is that accurate. I've never seen nothing like that. I've seen accurate arms. Let me see. Dan Marino, yo. He had a very accurate arm. Michael Vick. Michael Vick had a laser for an arm. He had a cannon and a laser. I called it a Scud missile. That thing was laser guided. It's a laser guided Scud missile. Shedeur has a laser as well. He has a laser. If you go back to Well Off Media, right after the pro day, there was a coach that was talking to Shiloh. It was either on Reach the People Media or it was on Well Off Media. I think it was Reach the People Media. It was a coach that was talking to Shiloh after pro day. He said, he was like, and then Shiloh was like, yeah, my brother is pretty good. He said, yeah, I think he's pretty good. He said, no, I want to tell you something about him. He said, I've been noticing something. I've been studying him the whole year. He said, when he throws an off ball, the ball is still catchable. It's only within hand's reach. He said, I haven't seen that in a long time. He said, no, I'm serious. He said, when he throws an off ball, he said usually when people throw a miss ball, it's usually like a yard or two where the receiver can't catch it. He said it's within arm. He said it's within hands reach. That's how accurate he is. He said I haven't seen that in a very long time. He said, yeah, my brother really is that good. He said, yeah. He said he's special. This is who they passed on. They don't give a fuck about him being special. They don't. They just had a problem with him and his father, man. That's what happened. This is a personal issue. Personal issues have to be taken up in court. If they don't want to take it up in court, the collective will. The collective will do it. And then hopefully an investigation is done to find out there's some collusion. I told y'all something was going to be done about it. I told you. Because people were talking about it. They was like, nah, man, what can we do, man? Because we believe they colluded. So here come the lawsuit. Now, people, like I said, people think it's frivolous, but you got to understand, go read it. A lawyer wrote it, but you don't know the strategy, though. Because there's some players already, I'm not going to say their names. There's some players that know for a fact there was collusion. They know for a fact. It was told to them. And guess what? You know what the owners, they're so bold. They told them knowing that they're not gonna say nothing, or that'll be your job, man. If you rat on me, that'll be your job. That's how bold they are. But I'm here to tell these owners, this is a new, different day and age. These players are not scared. These players are not scared, man. So, but here's the thing, though. I believe the same thing can happen to Arch Manning. Oh yes, if his grandfather resurfaced and say and he has a say so on where his grandson is going, they're gonna drop Arch Manning out of the first round. I'm telling you, they'll do that. These owners are that petty. They'll do that. They don't care about no Arch Manning. They don't. So I can't wait for that one because he is gonna let his grandson ain't going nowhere garbage. I'm just telling you this. His grandson is not going nowhere garbage because he's gonna have a say so in it, and they gonna have a problem with it. So he might fall down to the fifth round. I thought about it for a second. Somebody said, "Nah, man, that ain't gonna happen to Arch Manning. He white." You gotta understand. I just thought about it. These are not the same owners when I grew up. These are not the same owners, man. These owners on some other different type of time. Okay, these owners on some different type of time right now. So that's how I know. Um, he come out. They gonna be like, "Who is this, man?" Like, so what? Will do whatever you want to do with your grandson. What you gonna do about it? That's how I think they feel. So, but collusion is actually illegal. You can't do that. You can get sued for that. Actually, get jail time for it as well. But so that's what that person. You don't even know who the person is because the person went under the pseudonym John Doe. Went under the pseudonym. So you don't know who it is. It could be a high-powered attorney. Definitely is somebody with some money. You wait and see, because further on in the lawsuit, you're going to eventually know who it is because the NFL has a right to know who their accuser is. So eventually you're gonna know who it is, and you're gonna be like, okay, Mac's not bullshitting. Watch, you'll see. He's like, he not bullshitting now. But y'all ain't gonna know who the person is. You're gonna have to do some research. Cause look, everybody that's melanated that got access to multi-millions of dollars is not athletes. Actually, did you know most of the millionaires that are highly melanated, they never played sports? None of them. They never played sports, man. They didn't make their money in sports. They made their money in business. They made their money in business. The richest person that ever walked this planet never played sports. He's still the richest. If he was alive today, he would still be the richest according to today's inflation. It's Mansa Musa. He's the richest that ever walked this planet. It's not these billionaires you think. But there's also some people in this country that got so much money that you be like, who is this person? This person was just in business. You don't know who they are, but I'm telling you, the person that went after that lawsuit, he got some money. He or she, because he went under John Doe, not Jane Doe. So we know it's a male. But the person either is a lawyer or have access to a high-powered attorney. Just go look at the lawsuit. It's not about money. They don't want money. I guess just want an investigation done. But I'm gonna go on to something else. But yes, this kid was wronged in the highest way, and Tom wasn't what he was in. He was a part of it. That's what I think. Skip is saying that. Skip is saying he's a part of it. And he gonna sit up there and stutter.
And then a whole lot of people out there didn't like Shedeur. I'll get to that in just a moment. But I considered it a strength of Shedeur's that since he was in high school, it may go back before that. You'd know this better than I would, Tom.
Hold on 1 second.
Tom Brady mentored and coached Shedeur Sanders all the way up through high school and into college and through college. Mentored and coached. Nobody out there outside of Shedeur's family knows his game and his nature, his tangibles and his intangibles better than Tom Brady.
That is true. He knows him. He coached him. And did you hear him? He coached him even through college. See, when Shedeur be working out, he don't always show it on camera. We don't know who he's with. So obviously he's been with him. This is what makes this sad, yo.
So we're to believe that nobody in the Raiders organization at any point in time before the draft said, "Hey, Tom, what's your opinion of Shedeur?" And by the way, the Raiders did need a quarterback desperately badly, before they went out and acquired Geno Smith. But my point is, at no point, neither Pete Carroll, nor John Spytek, nor Mark Davis said, "Hey, Tom, give us your take on Shedeur. Stop it, Tom. Quit lying to us, Tom. Quit dodging the truth, Tom."
Listen. He said, "Stop lying, Tom. Tom, you lying." Tom he's not gonna respond to Skip no more. That was it. He's not gonna respond to him. He've already responded once, a little bit, saying that anybody could say any bullshit. No, your organization went out there and said that they'll be a fool not to add you into this.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm calling bullshit on you because that's utter bullshit. The Raiders would be fools if they didn't ask you your opinion of Shedeur.
Right.
And obviously, as I'm about to detail, you said no to Shedeur because they did pass him 7 straight times.
Yep.
With 3 picks in the 3rd round and 2 in the 4th round, they just passed and passed and passed. I don't know exactly what you didn't like about Shedeur, but you obviously vetoed Shedeur.
Right, he did.
I don't know if you did.
And look, that's a bad sign because one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time said no to him. So that if they like, damn, he's saying no to him, he must not be that good. Because Tom has worked with him, so Tom must have saw something that we not seeing. That's a problem, and that could have been why some teams passed on him. I'm telling you, but Tom. Remember the lawsuit, Tom. Remember that, because somebody behind that lawsuit, Tom, got more money than you. Got more money than you. That never played sports. That's highly melanated. That has more money than you, and you know who it is. I promise you this. I promise you know who it is. They're gonna get to the bottom of this. They're gonna get to the bottom of it. Because that could have been very well why the teams passed on. Like, damn, okay, Tom, you coached him and worked. You saying he ain't good? Then we not gonna draft him. I'm telling you, something is really it's more to the story than Skip Bayless is scratching the surface on it. He really is. You mean to tell me the great Tom Brady that coached Shedeur, he coached him ever since he was a kid through, and you heard what he said through college. Because if I'm an NFL team, right, I'm gonna be honest with you, if I'm an NFL owner, I'm gonna call Tom Brady. I don't even care if he with the Raiders. I'm like, yo, Tom, what's up with Shedeur, man? And if he give him a bad look, I'm not drafting him. Because the greatest quarterback said so, that means it gotta be some nuance or something wrong that can't be corrected. If he gave him a bad nod. This is bad.
Like his intangibles, the way a lot of people around the NFL thought he was just too brash and too arrogant and too spoiled and privileged and entitled and blah, 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 blah. I've heard it all. I'm still hearing it all. I'm getting it from all sides. I know it all, Tom, and I'm about to spit it all out. You've heard it all, Tom. Maybe it was the intangibles that turned you away, or maybe you watched him evolve as a quarterback and you just said, no, he just can't play in this league.
Yeah, that's what we want to know, Tom. Like, is it because of his attitude or is it his skill set? Because there's a lot of quarterbacks in the league that had attitude problems. There was a lot of quarterbacks that had big egos. Ben Roethlisberger, man. Sometimes you could be so good that the NFL will overlook some things you did. Ben Roethlisberger, man. Go look. Go research what he did. And he still was in the league because he was so good that they gave him another chance. They don't give everybody another chance. They didn't give Ray Rice one. They didn't give him another chance, but they gave Ben Roethlisberger one. Go research what he did. Go research what Big Ben did, man. But can he play football though? Yes, Ben can play football. He could spin it. And he's on his way to the Hall of Fame. Ben is eventually going to be in the Hall of Fame. We all know this. So Johnny Manziel had issues too. He still didn't go in no fifth round, man. So that I'm with what Skip Bayless said. Was it his skill set that you like? Because you were working with him, did you feel like he just can't play football? Then if you said it, I would have to respect that. If that's I would have to keep it 100. But then you don't want to hurt the kid's feelings either. You're not gonna say He's not gonna say that. I'm telling you, these new age men, they don't have the testicular fortitude to keep it 100. If you feel like he can't play in the National Football League, why don't you tell him that and tell him what he need to work on? It ain't no way in God's green earth the Raiders didn't consult with you. I don't believe you. There's no way. That's like having Patrick Mahomes and don't consult with Patrick Mahomes. Come on, man.
A lot of people thought you couldn't play in this league.
Right.
Sixth round draft pick that you were. So maybe you did to Shedeur what they did unto you, Tom. But you obviously said no. And I get it that Pete Carroll said, going on 74 years of age, maybe this is his last gig. I don't know. Maybe he thinks it's his last gig. And he said, I need a quarterback. I need a quarterback who's proven to me that he can handle it. Somebody I trust under fire.
Okay.
And
that's a good one. So if Pete Carroll said, look, I need a court because this might be my last go at it. I don't want a rookie. I need a quarterback that is proven. And the best they could do is Geno Smith, man. And I'm not taking nothing away from Geno Smith. I can see if they went after Aaron Rodgers. I can see if they went after Russell Wilson. I can see if they went after Jameis Winston. Okay, then I can see why they passed up on Shedeur. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I could see why they passed up on Shedeur. Okay, they went with Jameis Winston. They went with Russell Wilson. I could see it. Um, I don't know. Geno Smith might tear it up this year. I don't know. He might tear it up.
I'm a Geno believer in Seattle. So you went out for a third-round pick and you got Geno Smith, and you gave him a couple of more years at around, what can you make, around 40 million years? Pretty good money. And Geno's pretty good. I don't think his ceiling is nearly as high as Shedeur's, but that's just me.
That means he's not that good. If you don't think his ceiling is high as Shedeur's, then he's really not that good then, because he's been in the league a while. So if his ceiling's not that high, then he's subpar.
But you banked on Geno for a couple of years more. What is he, 34? And yet, I'm looking at your situation even after you acquired Geno, and I'm thinking, man, Shedeur would make the perfect understudy with Tom Brady still mentoring and coaching for a couple of years. Perfect, beautiful. Like maybe 3 years, like Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. And look, I certainly understood the Raiders with their 6th overall pick saying, hey, Ashton Genty is just too rare of a specimen, just too rarely gifted a running back to pass up at 6th overall. You need that piece to the puzzle, and that's a big, bad piece to the puzzle. I'm good with it. I get it. But then here it went. And Shedeur began to fall for many various, mostly to me, despicable reasons. And so we're to believe, Tom Brady, that not once did you communicate as Shedeur fell. Not once did you say to Spytech, to Mark Davis, to Pete, to anybody, hey, let's take him now. So look what your team did, Tom. Look what happened. You have 3 third-round picks. So in the second round, you go wide receiver. And then third round, you go cornerback, offensive lineman. Okay. 4th round, you go wide receiver. And now you have a second pick in the 4th round, Tom. You have pick number 135. It's 9 slots before Shedeur is finally going to go to Cleveland because Jimmy Haslam finally said, that's enough. I'm taking him. Maybe just to make a little splash. I don't think anybody else in Cleveland wanted him because 50 slots higher, they'd obviously already taken my guy from Oklahoma, Dylan Gabriel. That's who they wanted to groom as a rookie quarterback. And the owner, who wanted Johnny Manziel, who plunged, obviously, for Deshaun Watson, he just said, we can get Shedeur Sanders. He had dinner with Deion and Shedeur. I'm sure he liked him. He might be the only right one out there, the only right-thinking brain out there. But you've got a second, 4th-round pick, and you don't just snap up Shedeur Sanders, your guy, that you had helped grow? You're kidding. Instead, you take Tonka Hemingway. You take a defensive tackle out of South Carolina. I know they were that front 7 was hellacious good. They destroyed my team in Nashville this year. And I just said, we can't. We're suffocated. We can't even move the ball. Maybe he'll be great, but he ain't a quarterback, and he ain't that quarterback. And you're telling me that not once did you say, hold the phone, man. What are we doing? Not once. 7 times you passed.
Yeah, 7 times, man. 7 times he passed on. That means he don't think Shedeur, he didn't want him. That's what it means.
You obviously just didn't believe in this kid.
Right.
And you should own that. You should just acknowledge it. It's okay. There's no problem with it.
Yeah, if he feels as though that he don't have the talent, he should own it. But the reason why he not gonna own it, because he gonna look like an asshole. Because he trained the kid since he was a kid, and the kid looked up to him. But I'm gonna tell you what that would do, Tom. You might as well own it, because what that's gonna do is that's gonna put an inferno under that kid's back. That's gonna put an inferno on him, and he gonna beat the brakes off y'all when he start and play the rate. He gonna beat the brakes off y'all. I promise you this. He will be. He's gonna beat the brakes. He's already mad. I could tell by the way he was walking in that locker room. He went there the day after to start working. He gonna beat the brake. Listen, he going after. I'm telling y'all this right now. I would not be surprised if he takes Flacco job. That kid, I could tell. You can see it in his eyes. He's not playing. And if he get the start, I hope he play the Raiders. When if they play the Raiders, I hope he get the start. He gonna beat the brakes off y'all. I promise you this. Because I'm gonna tell you why. Everybody know why. In Colorado, he did not. The offensive line he had was silly. He had a silly offensive line. They should be charged. The first offensive line that he had his freshman year, they should be charged, except for Savion, because Savion got hurt. The rest of them should be charged. They should be charged with a crime because this one offensive lineman he let Shedeur get sacked because I covered it. He just released his hands and let that guy tee off on him. They should be charged. I'm just joking about being charged, but I'm saying it's a crime. That was a crime scene that first year. The second year they still weren't that good, but they had some bright spots on the team. Some new additions, which was some bright spots. But he didn't have the offensive line Dylan Gabriel had. He didn't have the offensive line Cam Ward had. He didn't have the offensive line Jackson Dart had, and still had better numbers than him. Now imagine if he's in the NFL with millionaires blocking for him. Imagine. That's how I know. He's only going to pick up where he left off, but he's going to be even better. Because he's used to playing under pressure. They say, well, he was throwing a lot of bubble screens and shit like that. I mean, look at what he had to work with. Look at the offensive line. They had to do what they had to do. They had to do what they had to do. But you should own it. You should own it. Like, look, I don't think he should play. I don't think he could play in the NFL. But guess what, Tom? He gonna embarrass y'all. Because if he start, which I think he may, because he got a battery pack. He got a boulder. He got a boulder on his shoulder right now. Not a chip. He got a boulder on his shoulder. He might beat out Flacco, man. He might. But I don't think so. I mean, it's Flacco. He's 19 years. You know what I'm saying? But I could see him. He's in my mind in Cleveland. He's QB2 for sure. He's QB2. He's QB2, and that ain't taking nothing away from Dylan Gabriel. But he's QB2. If he ever get that start against the Raiders, I promise you they're gonna win. The Browns gonna beat them. That's easy. That's an easy bet for me. So that's what he should have owned. Like Skip Bayless said, if that's the case, then that's okay. You just don't think, yeah, I would say something about you. I'd be looking at you sideways, but if you just believe that he can't play, okay, I feel you on that. That's your opinion. But the problem is that's a very good opinion because people listen to you. So if you're saying that he's not, see, you didn't want to say that because you didn't want to. Maybe you did say it behind closed doors that he wasn't good, and all the NFL owners got wind of it. That may have been it. But I don't think that was it. I think it was something else going on. But yeah, you did pass on him quite a bit here, Tom.
That's the way I do business. Just own it.
Let me tell you this real quick. I had thought about that. Tom Brady has coached him, and this and that. Um, and I was like, yeah, Tom, be able to work with him, mentor him and stuff like that. But I gotta remember, Tom, he's not as melanated as I am. I told you with people that got less melanin, they have to prove that they're good people to me because they're snakes. They have to prove it. Not all of them are snakes, so don't get offended. If you're less melanated, if you're the lighter, as I say, lighter complexion, because we're all different forms of brown. Ain't no such thing as white or black. We're all different forms of brown. But for the less ones that's less melanated, you have to evaluate them on a year by year basis because they could turn on you just as quick as anything. So I had to. So Tom, he disappointed me because I thought he was in the 10%. I thought he was, but he's not. And it's okay because I shouldn't have been surprised because look at his complexion. I should have been surprised. I shouldn't have been surprised. And I'm gonna tell you guys this: it's sad. It's fucked up in 2025 that I have to think like that. You have to prove that you're a good person to me, especially if you lighter like that. You got to prove it because my family always taught me when I was younger because they taught me how to live this life so I can know how to navigate around it. They said they're gonna be cool with you, but you're gonna find out who they are when they get mad with you or then they get drunk. That's how you'll find out. Or when they come down to it when you need them. They said they'll stab you in the back quicker than anything. And Tom proved it. He proved it. He proved it. It don't give a fuck if he Tom Brady. I still have to remember who he is. I'm not saying everybody like him is like that. I'm not saying that, but most of them are on code though. Most of them are. The sad part about it is my demographic is not on code like that. I wish we were, but we're not. And it sucks. I mean, at the end of the day, all he had to say was, I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. But see, he ain't had the balls to say that because that would have crushed it. I don't know if it would have crushed Shedeur. I don't think so. Shedeur got, yo, listen, Shedeur is not a regular Gen, is he Gen Z? Is Shedeur Gen Z? Let me see. He's 23. He's Gen Z. He's the oldest of Gen Z. He's not a regular Gen Zer. He's not. He was raised the old school way. He has he don't let shit bother him. He's a tough guy. So what he probably would have did was, okay, you don't think I can play in the league? Okay, I'm gonna prove it to you. That's how he probably would have taken it. Oh, he a millennial? Okay, he a millennial, yeah. He's one of the youngest millennials then. He's on the young side for the millennial. Well, actually, no, he's in the middle. Yeah, they call him grown. So he wouldn't have taken. He said, you know what? Okay, he would have laughed. He would have looked at Shiloh like, okay, okay, I got him. I got him. I can't wait to start against the Raiders. I'm gonna beat you, sir. I am going to beat your team, and then I'm gonna come up to you and show you my fucking watch, because that's what I'm gonna do. Since you're gonna say I'm not good enough to play for your team, okay, I got you. I got you. But I don't need no more of your coaching. I'm grown now. I'm really grown. I know they call me grown, but I'm really grown. I don't need no more of your coaching. I don't need it. Okay, I don't need no more of your coaching. I got you. So your coaching ain't working then. Obviously, you did something. What's up with your coach? See, I knew something was up with Tom because Shedeur was making a joke about. See, that's why they showed that video again. I know somebody reported on it saying that they're reaching. No, they weren't reaching. The reason why they showed that video again because he had it in his heart already. He said you need to be watching film. You know what I'm saying? He had it in his heart already. He didn't feel like Shedeur was good enough, yo. Straight up. Because he said, well, you need to be in that. He's because see, Tom is old school. He think these kids got it before they earned it. So he may feel like that about him. Like you got all this and you ain't earned nothing yet. You ain't win nothing yet. You ain't even win a bowl game. I know that's how he feel. I know that's how Tom feel. He feel like Shedeur got it all too soon. I know that's how he feel because he said it. He said it. He said that's why the video came back up. He said you need to be in that playbook. Fuck the Cullinan. You need to be in that playbook though. Why would he say that to him? Because he feel like he ain't in that playbook. Yeah, Tom didn't feel like he was good enough. Shedeur, I'm here to tell you that should be made. That's see for Shedeur, that's major motivation. Okay, he gonna have that right there. Okay, he felt that way. Okay, okay, I got him. I got him. I got his playbook. I got your playbook, Tom. Because when I start when I start against the Raiders, I'm going to beat the brakes off y'all. I promise you this. Did you know that there was some Raiders that was waiting for Shedeur to come there? They were waiting. It was this what's the defensive end for the Raiders? The lighter complected guy. He was hoping that Shedeur come there. He was like, "Yo, hopefully I'll see you on my team." So why would he say that if he didn't think Shedeur was good? He could be like, "Yeah, what's up, Shedeur, man? Good luck in the draft." He didn't say that. He said, "Hopefully I'll see you soon." A lot of people think highly of Shedeur. Did you know a lot of those players? You know they play little league with him, right? So it's not like they just randomly know him. He know a lot of them in the NFL already, and a lot of them know he's good. A lot of them know that. Did you know it was a wide receiver that had just got drafted, right? It was a wide receiver that had just got drafted in the first round. They recruited him to come to Truth Academy. They recruited Coach Prominent recruited him to come to Shedeur's high school. But he was like, I can't just uproot and leave my mother like that. That's why I didn't do it. He was a top draft pick. He was a wide receiver. And he said sure Shedeur could spin that ball. So listen, yeah, Max Crosby. Yeah, Max was like, yo, Shedeur, I hope I see you soon. He didn't say that. He could have just said good luck on the draft. He said hopefully we'll be seeing each other. Why would he say that if Shedeur is garbage? They've known each other probably since they were kids, but that's besides the point. They've known each other since camps from, being kids. But that's besides the point. I wouldn't say that if I'm like, nah, man, I don't want him on my team. But good luck in the draft, though. You know what I'm saying? Nah, he said, I hope to see you soon. So here's the deal. Skip has already talked. Skip don't cook them. Okay, Skip cooked them. However, I agree with Skip. You should have just owned it, Tom. You should have just owned it. You should have just said, nah, I just didn't want to go with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm still cool with him, but hopefully he work out on another team. But it's still gonna look sideways though, because other owners are like, damn, Tom didn't want to even want him. Why should we get him in Tom? He the one coached him. So anyway, this ain't going nowhere. That's why people keep talking about it. It's not going anywhere because they know something wrong, something very wrong happened here. But it's all good because I hope he get the start against the Raiders. I don't know if they playing the Raiders. If they do, I hope he get the start. And then when they win, he'll just go off with that smirk. Look Tom direction like I told you. I hope he throw for I hope he throw for 400 yards against y'all. 400 yards. And I hope he run in a touchdown in Las Vegas. I don't know if they playing him. Yeah, Sean Payton, um, he even said it, but he don't need a quarterback though. He said, yeah, Shedeur, he said it too. Shedeur, Matt Rule is a pretty good judgment of quarterbacks. He is. If you don't know, you know. Matt Rule is a pretty good. You know what he said? He said, I like to see Shedeur in New York. He said Shedeur is better suited in that area. You know what I'm saying, in the first round. He said I would like to see him go to New York. He meant the Giants. And he said that that'll be a good situation for him. Now he put in Matt Rule, he played him twice. So he had a bullseye view of what Shedeur could do. Because he played him twice. Twice. Okay? He played him twice. Okay? Even of all people, you know how Dan Lanning don't talk about the clicks and shit. Even he said Shedeur is good. Even he said it. Even he had to give it up. So yeah, man, he's really good, man. You know what I'm saying? But he understands Shedeur didn't have the whole system around him. He didn't have that great offensive line. Dan Lanning got an offensive lineman in the first round. He went in the first round of offensive lineman. That's the kind of offensive lineman he has. And I never forget Life in Football. I was watching him. He go live. I watched him. He said something. He said he had told Coach Prime that once you get to the level when you get your defense and the offensive line getting them drafted, he said now the team has arrived. Or now they're at another level. He's right about that. The defensive line, offensive line make or break your team. Prime already got a great secondary. He already got good cornerbacks right now. He got a running game. He just got to get that defensive offensive line intact. Now, luckily for him, he got a Barry Sanders for a quarterback. So they got a running game. Make no mistakes about that. They're going to have a running game this year. So we'll see what happens. But Shedeur's a more traditional quarterback. And he can run it, though, right? He can run it. But he didn't have the luxury to be great because, you know what I'm saying, the first year he was on his wallet a record number of times. There was some plays, right, where Shedeur, the pocket broke down in a second and they had covered him. The only thing he could do is just fall. That's the only thing he could do. There was a couple times I seen that pocket fell so bad that he was like, damn, they was all around him. He couldn't do nothing. He couldn't do anything. The first year was horrible. Offensive lineman just released his hands and that player teed off on him. Teed off on him. That could have been his career right there. Sorry about that. That could have been his career right there. He took a lot of abuse and still his numbers went up since his freshman year. It was on the incline. What that tells me is that he's a tough guy. Okay, he's battle tested. He's a tough guy. So if I was an owner, I'm like, you know what? I got a good offensive line already. The game is a lot slower. This kid getting ready to cook. This kid getting ready to cook. I'm grabbing him in the first round. He getting ready to cook. I know his offensive line was not up to par. I know if he was on Miami, they would have had the same record. I know if he was on Oregon, he would have led them to promised land. I know if he was on Ole Miss, I don't wish nobody to go there. But I know if he was on Ole Miss, they would have had the same record. I know if he was on Alabama, they would have had the same record. I'm drafting him. So for them to pass him up all them times, Tom, come on, man, Tom, you looking crazy. You looking crazy, man. And you look even crazier that one of your brothers called you out. Skip Bayless. Dude, it got so bad, y'all. Even Stephen A had to give it up for Shedeur. And you know how he be getting down. Even he said something ain't right, yo. He said collusion. And even what's her name? She had to correct him real quick. No, it's alleged. We can't say that. It's alleged. Because you know she on code. They all on code, man. They all on code. When you deal with them, you better deal with them carefully. You better really watch their character, yo. You better really watch their character, man. Because it's them against us. You better watch their character. Now you got some good ones out here. Don't get me wrong. Everybody ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? Take them out for a drink. Yo, get them drunk and see how they feel about you. Get them drunk, see what they say. Because drunk is the truth serum. Either that or get them mad. They get mad at you. I remember one time in high school, right? My boy, he had this guy. They played basketball together. They even skied together. I mean, this brother, he was like the best skier in the state of New Jersey. He was on the ski team. He was in the Pan Am Games and the Junior Olympics. He was on the. He had all. He had different types of friends because he was the best skier in New Jersey. He was in the Junior Olympics, the Pan Am Games, the Goodwill Games. He won all type of medals. He was a real good friend of mine, and I known him since the sandbox. And he had this friend. I was always weary of his friend. He's like, nah, he cool. I said, yeah, you sure? I said, you sure he ain't on that racial type shit? He was like, nah, yo. Because, my father raised me, yo. You know what I'm saying? So, old Vietnam vet. You know what I'm saying? He raised me. He told me what the shit he went through in Vietnam with that Confederate flag. He told me all that. See, that's how I was raised, old school. I know how to get down. So I was like, you sure? I said, you sure he cool? He said, yeah, on the surface, he was cool. I'm like, all right. So then I started coming around. I say, all right, he cool, right? He's like, yeah. He said, come on, man, don't be on that. See, I got all type of friends, but I vet my friends carefully. You know what I'm saying? So I say, he cool, right? He said, yeah, he cool. Until one day, he was missing a pair of Jordans, and he thought, check this out. We was all over his house, and he called my boy up. He was like, yo, I'm missing some shit out of my house. He blaming us for it. He's like, nah, we ain't take your shit. Maybe you left it at school, yo. He said, maybe you left it at school. And he said, maybe you left it at school. Brian, if you listening, I'm talking about you, Brian, if you listening. Yeah, you, Brian, I'm talking about you if you listening. So he was like, yo, we ain't take shit out your house, man. Because we was in high school, right? We were, his parents had left because he had a really big house. And his parents had left, and we was away having a party at his house. We had girls over and everything, and they were big time basketball players, so they had all the girls over. And so we were all partying, drinking and stuff. So we left, and the next day he called my boy and was like, "Yo, I had some stuff. I had my Jordans missing out of my house." And so he was like, "Yo, did anybody take my shit?" He was like, "No, we didn't take your shit." I was like, "I know I didn't take his shit because I wear 13. At the time, I wore 13. I wear 14 now." I said, "I ain't take his shit. Okay, I can't even wear his shoes. You know what I'm saying? I think he wore a size 10 or something. I can't wear a size 10. I ain't take him." So he went over his house and he still pressed him on. He said, "Man, y'all took my motherfucking shit, man. Y'all took my shit, dude. Y'all took." He's like, "Yo, we ain't take your shit." He called him the N-word, yo. Straight up. Called him the N-word. He could not believe it. He came back home hurt, yo. He said, "Yo, this dude called me the N-word." He called him the N-word with the hard R. Okay? And I said, "I told you." I told you. I said, "I told you he can't be trusted." He's like, "Yeah, you're right, yo." And he was hurt about it, but I was hurt for him because that was like his best friend. You know what I'm saying? And I told him, I said, "I told you they can't be trusted, yo, because I know how they feel about us." And then he went to school Monday and found his Jordans in the school. He left them in his locker at school, yo. And then he called my boy, "Yo, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." They never been quite right ever since. The friendship was over. The friendship was over. And we beat the brakes off his ass in basketball. We sure did. Because we was in the parochial league. We beat the brakes off him, yo. He used that as motivation. Beat the brakes off his ass. So that's what I'm saying. With Tom, that shit rears its ugly head, yo. They stay on code with each other. They feel a certain type of way about us. They do. And I'm not saying all of them until they prove me wrong. You gotta prove me wrong, yo. I'm not just gonna be your friend. You're gonna have to prove me wrong, yo. You're gonna have to straight up prove me wrong because I know how this world is. I know how it is. It's in the workforce. You could be friends with them, but you know what I'm saying, just watch out. That's just how it is. So Tom Brady, the way he did is really not surprising because it's who he is. He's not surprised. It's not surprising what he did. You know what I'm saying? But you do got some good folks out there like Skip Bayless. See, things like this, that's how they prove themselves. Skip don't prove himself to me, yo. He did. Because he didn't have to do this. He didn't have to do it. He could have stayed on code. He didn't. Skip just not like that. I kind of knew he hang out with Lil Wayne and shit. I kind of knew he wasn't like that. But this really proves it now, solidifies that Skip is not like them. He's not like that. And then, like I said, you have a 10%. And his population, they really not like that. You know what I'm saying? So he really got Prime's back. Skip really does. This right here, when shit like this happen, you know who have your back. Tom ain't got his back. He don't got his back, yo. Because I would have told Davis, I'm like, y'all crazy, yo. Y'all better draft him. Now, if Tom come out and say, look, I tried to tell him, but they still didn't want to draft him, then I can see that. But he need to go, like, he need to, like, tell them that behind the scenes. But see, he looking crazy right now, so he might have to say it. Like, yeah, look, I did consult with them. They went another way. Then I would see that. I could see that. I'm like, okay, they really just didn't want him then. They didn't even care what Tom said. That'll make Tom look crazy, though. That'll make him look crazy because he one of the best quarterbacks to do it. So for them not to listen to him, that's crazy. But I'm gonna tell you something. Look, watch this. You do got some good ones out there because Travis Kelce is one of them. Travis Kelce even came to bat for Shedeur. You know what I'm saying? So not all of them are like that. Not all of them are like that. Um, not all of I kind of knew Travis wasn't like that. Just his dating preferences. He wasn't like that. Um, um, but they like that, man. It's just this is a life thing. I'm talking now. You got to know how to navigate through life, man, so you won't be disappointed. You gotta really vet these people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be divisive or anything like that. I'm fucking real. Okay? I know some people I can't sit at their dinner table. Let me tell you what happened back in the day, yo. So, it was one of my classmates. They lived in a well-to-do area. My dad didn't want me to go to their birthday party. He said, I don't want you going to their birthday party, but I got an invite. My mother wanted me to go anyway. So this was so blatant, right, that even the kids saw it, knew what was going on. So when we got to the dinner party, we were all having dinner. They gave us plastic forks and gave everybody else regular forks. And the girl, my classmate that held the party, she apologized. She was like, "I'm sorry." She went and got us regular forks, and her mother was like, "No, they got the plastic forks because we ran out." She said we ran out. She was like, "No, you didn't run out." She didn't want to give us her good silverware, and it got back to my father. My father went over there and blasted them. He put so much fear in them that you could see them shaking. He said, first of all, I didn't want my son to come here. I didn't want my son to come here. But he said, if I ever catch y'all doing something, I'm gonna come back and we gonna make the news. I promise you this. He said, for you disrespecting my son, you know what I'm saying, by giving him plastic forks, and then all the lighter complected people had silverware and all the other melanated people had plastic forks. He said, if I ever catch you doing anything out of pocket, I'm gonna come back in the middle of the night and I'm gonna fuck y'all up. He said this. He said, I'm gonna make sure I end y'all. He said, I was in Vietnam, I got PTSD, and my mind ain't right. He said, so remember, I'm not lying. He said this. So this is the shit I went through. You know what I'm saying? I went through this. You know what I'm saying? We got plastic forks and they got silverware. So when I see stuff like this, when I see the NFL do, it triggers me. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how these people feel about us. I'm that type of friend where I'm standoffish. If a lot of them around, I'm not comfortable. I don't even want to be around them. I'm like that type until you prove to me that you ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm at my age now. I don't be going just anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person like who gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what's the name gonna be there? All right, I ain't coming. I just straight up tell you I'm not coming to your party. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that. I'm on that type of time. I'm a nice person. I'm a cool person. I like everybody, but everybody don't like me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm real. And what happened to Shedeur, they were on code. They all got together and said they're going to embarrass this family, man. And it's unfortunate, but that's just how society is. That's how the world operates. The world ain't fair, and you got to know how to navigate around it. I already know Shedeur know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Because if that Giant owner, that Giants coach got disrespectful, I know he probably gave it back to him. And if he did, I'm proud of him. If he did that, because that coach on the outs anyway, he ain't gonna stay a coach for long. The ball, he ain't gonna stay a coach for long. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting up there talking about it's a rumor that he thought coach was gonna take his job. That means he know he ain't shit. Then why are you worried about a player father taking your job if you ain't the shit? He ain't no Bill Parcells, man. Come on, man. You think Bill Parcells will be worried about somebody taking his job, yo? You think Bill Belichick will be worried about somebody taking his job because they the shit? So yeah, man. I just don't hang around them. I'm just telling you that. Like some of them are cool. Like I'm very discerning. I can discern people character very quickly. I can. I'm not the type of person where I'm just like straight up, you know what I'm saying, what you call it, black power. I'm not like that. Like if I see you, I'll be cordial to you. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk to you, I'll be cordial, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'd rather hang around my own people, yo. That's just how I am. I'm more comfortable around my own people. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, I got all types of friends. They already know. They've seen this before from me. They already understand how I am because shit happened to me when I was little. You know what I'm saying? So, and then my dad raised me, and all the stuff he said came. He no longer with us, but all the stuff that he taught me is true. It came true. You know what I'm saying? But he said you got some out there that are really nice people. And he always told me, don't disrespect people. You treat people how you want to be treated. That's what he told me. Until he said they disrespect you, you walk away, never talk to them again. That's how he said it. All them people, all these people, like, look, all of them damn near like that. Look, a friend of mine, she dating this dude, right? And she's like, hey, this is my new boyfriend. I took one look at him. I said, I don't like him. And she was like, well, he ain't do nothing bad to you. I said, nah, yo, he racist, yo. I could smell it because he stink. She was like, what? I said, he got us older to him. He racist. I could tell. I don't give a fuck how much cologne they put on. That hate comes through their pores. I could smell it. And guess what happened? He laid his hands on her, right? Because I told her he was going to lay his hands on. She got a black eye now. She got a big ass black eye. He beat her ass. But check this out. So I told her don't leave him alone because he's going to put his hands on you. But that's already happened. But the first time it happened, she called me and I was like, hey, man, like, it ain't none of my business. I don't get in people's business. He calling me the N word in the background because I could hear him with the hard R. He said, you in something. And then he called my mother that. He said, your mother won too. I said, all right, cool. You lucky you live in another state. I said, you lucky you live in another state because I would have got a silencer. You lucky you live in another state, yo. I know how to get away with shit. You know, I'm saying that to put fear in them. I said, see, people out here doing it wrong. They out here using the pow, pow, pow so everybody can hear. No, you get a silencer. So nobody won't hear it. And so I did that to scare him, right? I did that to scare him. I said, tell him I'm bullshitting, yo, because now he getting scared. This dude called the police on me, yo. He did. Police calling my phone. And they was like, did you say that? I said, yeah. I said, is it illegal to talk shit? They said no. All right, have a good day. And that's it. It's like, dude, he said, don't joke with him like that. You know what I'm saying? He said, because he don't call the police and he want to file all type of charges where we don't know what to file. And I said, all right. And that was it. And I did that to scare him because he thought I was in town. I said, yeah, I can come through there right now. You know what I'm saying? Put my mask on. I was sitting there. Now I'm really carrying him at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a vivid imagination. He sat up there and called the police on me after he called me all type of N words. He sat up there and called the police on me. You see what I'm saying? He set up there and called me all type of N words, right? I said, okay, I'll be your N word, but I said, yeah, um, you better not sleep tonight. You know what I'm saying? Just I'm just carrying him. Yeah, he called the police, but and he's of the lighter hue. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe he was talking like that. I said, I told you he like that. All you gotta do is get him mad. I told you. But I said it's not everybody. I can sift them out. I really have because my dad taught. He said this is what you look out for. I can sift them out. I know who they are, and I said that's him. So of course they beefing now because he said that they beefing, and then he laid hands on her. So I told her, I said, look, don't be beefing with no dudes, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't beat them. So she sat up there and bear maced him. Oh my God, you're a whole mess. But I said, don't bear mace him. I said, just, that is what I said. Look, I don't have to date him. You know what I'm saying? Somebody calling me the hard N word, that don't bother me. They got to come up with something new, yo. That don't bother me. But that's what he did. He said, you. He kept saying, it's like he OD'd off of it. It's like he blacked out or something. He said, you an N-word lover, and N-word, I said, me and her never dated. What you talking about? We never dated. He OD'd off of it, man. He felt really a certain type of way. He OD'd off of it. So I'm older than he is, you know what I'm saying? So I said, I'm gonna sit up here and scare him. I said, yo, put me on speakerphone. She's like, yeah. I said, listen, leave your door unlocked tonight. I'll be there tonight around 3 a.m. I'll make sure nobody hear what happens. His ass, believe me, he called the cops. He called the cops. He called the cops. They sure did call my phone. This is the such and such police department. It's such and such here. I said, yeah, yes, sir. Did you say what you said? Yeah. Is it illegal to talk shit to somebody? He said, no. Good day. Goodbye. Goodbye. No, but goodbye. And they started laughing. I said, I'm not coming all the way there to do that. I said, he set up there and I said, he OD'd off the N word. He OD'd off of it. So I just wanted to scare him. He really OD'd off of it. He OD'd off of it, man. He started yelling it. It was almost like he had a manic attack or something. Lord have mercy. He was, damn, I was like, yo, why he ODing like that? I'm like, yo, he gonna put it, I said, he getting ready, I said, as soon as we hang up, he about to lay hands on you. I said, you better call, I said, you better call them cops back. He's not ever gonna do, I said, okay, watch. And she sure enough called me, she had two black eyes. She sure did. Two of them. So then I said, I'll put an end to this, right? So I called him. I called his phone. I said, listen, I ain't got no problem with you, but you know who her brother's affiliated with, right? He said, no. I said, go ask her to show you a picture of her brother. Get her to show you and go look at his tattoos. Look at the tattoo on his back. Look what it says. That's a gang he in. I said, if he get wind of it, if I tell him, you gone. If I tell him, I said, if I tell him, you gone. Straight up. Oh my God, I was just mad. I didn't mean to say that. I said, listen, man. And I hung up. These people crazy. But like I said, shout out to Shedeur. He in the right place. Tom, you know what I'm saying? He didn't put the good word in. That's fine. I hope they beat the brakes off the Raiders. I hope Shedeur starts. At some point he is gonna start. Shout out to the Pope, man. We got a new pope, yo. Shout out to the pope, man. He's from Chicago. Shout out to the pope. I like how they announced him, Pope Leo the 14th from the United States. He said from the United States. I love how they said it, from the United States. That's the only thing I cared about. I don't care about the pope, man. Not really. He really is what you call the president of the Catholic Church. It's like they elected a new president. That's all it is. Ain't nothing gonna change in this world because they got a new pope. But he is from Chicago, though. He is from Chicago. Damn, they got a pope from Chi-Town, yo. That's crazy. What's this world coming to, man? We got a pope from the United States. Craziness. But yeah, man, I'm sitting here talking, man. I'm getting ready. Y'all already know what it is. Monday. It looks like I'm gonna have to camp out in New York, yo. That's what it looks like. I'm gonna have to be a hobo for a few days and sleep on the street, yo, because I'm getting in that trial. I'm getting in there. So if I got to sleep on the street, that's what's gonna happen. If they got a line for him. So Max, they discussing the long line on Monday. Yeah, I told you as soon as I get to Jersey on Sunday, I'm gonna put my bags down, chill with my mother for a minute, get some sleep. And about 11 p.m., I'm headed to New York City, and I'm prepared to sleep out there. I told you that. Yeah, how the Pope from Chirac, man, that's just crazy, yo. On my Instagram, I posted it with the Chicago Bulls theme music. When they used to play when Jordan and them are announced that dun, 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 I played that. Yeah, court is in session. What they're doing is they narrowing down the jury right now. The jury is going to be set today. It's going to be set today, and then Monday is go time. Monday is everything on the line. It's go time. And Cassie is 100% pregnant. She looking pregnant too. That's just going to be crazy. They better not badger her on that stand, because the jury gonna take they're gonna take that personal. So Puff, he in court looking like he got a Mr. Rogers sweater on. He all gray. But once they start, I don't know, man. The government, they got witnesses on Monday, right, that he don't even know about. That's crazy, isn't it? He don't even know who testified Monday. He's already behind the 8 ball. How you don't know who testifying Monday? It's two people Monday that's testifying, and they're gonna know at the last minute who they are. So he probably gonna learn today who it is that's testifying Monday. I believe they testifying under a pseudonym though. Yeah, he want young black men as jurors, but that's not gonna happen because he might get some on there, but the government has a right to choose as well. It's equal. They both gonna have an equal shot at it. So he do want some men on that jury, and is young. Because if he gets some old Bible thumpers on there, he's cooked 100%. Because they're not going to understand. I'm telling you right now, they're not going to understand that hotel video. They're not trying to understand it. They're not trying to understand that hotel video and what transpired. And she's sitting up there about 8.5 months pregnant. It ain't going to look good if they badger her. So, yeah, man. They have a Chirac Pope, man. What's this world coming to, man? And they announced them from the United States. It's never. I don't think it's been a pope in a long time in the United States. I don't think so. But you know how that is. It's politics too. You know what I'm saying? It's political with them. Because one of the cardinals, I know him. When I grew up in Catholic school, and one of the priests, he became a cardinal actually. That was crazy. It was a big deal. I was graduating high school when he became a cardinal, and he rose the ranks. He was one of the people that voted for this new pope. He was one of the people that actually put in his vote for the new pope, and it was my old priest from grammar school. So the pope, that stuff is political. That's political based. To be a pope, you know what I'm saying? They have to it's not. I mean, a lot of people know the selection process. That, they have a final four or whatever that they vote on, and then they'll go through a series of ballots. And if they don't pass, they have to have a certain amount of votes with the Cardinals. And if they don't pass the first time, they have another round of voting. And I've heard they went through a couple of rounds of votings this time, and that's how this Pope got it. You know what I'm saying? It's political. You know what I'm saying? It's political based. It's just like anything else. It's political. Um, it's all the body of work he put in that they feel like is of value, and that's how he got it. It ain't no secret. A lot of people know that. So that's how he really. I was kind of surprised. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was kind of surprised that they selected this pope, but I thought they was gonna select. Now they thought they were gonna select a black pope. He was in the final four too. Was one of them. I forget his name. Oh my God, what is his name? He was in the final four, but it's political. He had some votes, and I think it took him a few days because every day it was that black smoke I saw, and then they finally came up to a unanimous decision on who's gonna be the next pope. I don't know if it has to be unanimous though. It doesn't. It has to be. They just have to get a certain amount of votes. So he got it, and he's 69 years old, so he's gonna be the pope for quite a long time. And every pope set their agenda. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the president. They set their agenda, things that they champion for, and stuff like that. They champion for certain things, and there's certain changes that happen, and they own a lot of real estate in the United States. Um, they got a lot of real estate and relics that they have and all that stuff that he's in control of now. Even he got a secretary. You know what I'm saying? The secretary is like got power now. His secretary. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's all politically based, fam. You know, he'll eventually meet all the presidents. Stuff. He'll meet President Trump, stuff like that. Eventually, he'll meet King Charles. I don't know. They say King Charles ain't doing so well. I told y'all King Charles ain't doing because when he was at his mother's funeral, man, his feet was hurting. I told y'all he might have had a gout or something. His face was beat red. I was worried about him. I said they need to just have him in a car. Don't have King Charles walking around like this. His feet hurting and knees hurting. You know what I'm saying? His mother didn't want to give up that title, man. He waited his whole life for that damn title. She could have at least retired and let him have it in his good days, but people don't want to relinquish that power. Now they don't have no 20-year-old popes. His Holiness is 69, 69 years old. They got a 69-year-old pope. They had one pope that stepped down. Remember, he didn't die as a pope. He stepped down. It was the one before the last one. I believe he stepped down, and I forget how it worked. Shout out to the pope, man. He came out nice neck piece. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had a nice crucifix piece on. Had some rubies in it, some diamonds. Yeah, man. Shout out to the pope, man. I know it's political though, and they got a lot of power. I know that much. It's a lot of money the Catholic Church has. They have a lot of members too, over 1 billion. You know what I'm saying? So I know they were saying, Max, you think it'll be a brother, be a pope? Nah, I don't think so. I mean, it could have. I mean, if he got all the votes, but he didn't get all the votes. It was one in the final four. I forget his name right now. He's from I can't remember which country in Africa. I can't remember where he's from. Yeah, I can't remember which country he's from, but there was a black pope in the final four, and it was an Asian one too. But they gave it to the Chi-Town one, man. They gave it to the one for the United States, man. We got an American pope, man. Come on, man. Give it up for the American pope, man. Yeah, American pope from Chicago. He from Chicago too. And I believe they said he's a huge NBA fan. Like he watched the NBA and all that. I don't even think he's a Chicago fan though. I think they said Golden State. He liked Curry and them. So the Pope like Curry, man. Curry got supernatural powers. I'm just telling you all that. I haven't put two and two together yet, but Curry got some understanding of the force. He gotta have it. Them shots he be making, that's more than just muscle memory. But I just hope. Let me just tell you this. I just hope Shedeur beat the brakes off the Raiders. I do. Just off GP, man. Real quick, and I want him to just show the watch, man. After he beat him, yeah. Like, yeah, y'all passed up on me for Geno. Okay, cool. All right, I got you. Let me go ahead and beat y'all real quick because he gonna do it. That's gonna be the most watched game if he start and it's against the Raiders. They're gonna be everybody gonna be watching that game. Shedeur gonna come out there all business. You know how he is when he work out before the game. It's like it's all ritualistic, man. He do the same thing. He don't waver. He breaks up a full sweat. He breaks out a full sweat when he working out right before the game. He all serious. I can see it now. When they play the Raiders, he gonna have them on his calendar. Like I got y'all for sure, and the Giants. I don't know if he's gonna be playing all of them, but at some point in his career, they gonna have to see him, and I can't wait. I'm here for it, baby. I'm here for it, baby, for real. Shout out to number 12. They gave him the 12 spot. All right, they gave him the 12 jersey. It's just as good. He's supposedly Creole, the new pope. You say his father and grandfather from Haiti. I need to do my research. I haven't done research on him. Yeah, I know Shady did. A lot of people did. They just don't understand it. But it is what it is now. But it's setting the stage though, because this kid that he's gonna be working hard too. It's gonna set the stage. Shout out to Travis. He graduated yesterday. I saw the pictures. Um, yeah, he graduated, and JB graduated too. Everybody on the team had a 3.0 or better. Yeah, JB, Jeremiah Brown. And Khalil Benson graduated too. Did he graduate from Colorado or Indiana? Probably Colorado. Even though he transferred, he probably still taking classes there. Yeah, he probably was still finishing up his classes there and graduated there. He probably didn't have that many classes left when he transferred over. But shout out to all them brothers, man. Khalil going back to Indiana. Yo, is do let me see. I forget his name. Yeah, he went back to Indiana. Well, he going back to play in Indiana. Wait, did he graduate from Colorado? Did he have his commencement at Colorado or Indiana? Shout out to all them brothers for graduating because that's the education they can't take away from you. They could take everything else, but your knowledge base, they can't because that's your base. Knowledge continues outside the classroom is a lifetime, but that knowledge base and experience and the context they got, that's a lot. The brothers that they made, the 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 context they made and the relationships they built last a lifetime. Yeah, that lasts a lifetime, and they can't take that knowledge away from you. These kids are smart, man. They are a lot smarter than they ever been. You said Trevor Woods linked up with Charles Kelly, who just became a head coach at Jacksonville State. So that's where Trevor going. He going to Jacksonville State. Shout out to Trevor Woods though. I think he should have stayed. This would have been his year. This would have been Trevor Woods' year right here. Not at linebacker. They probably could have moved him back to safety because he's a pretty good football player. But people make their decision. You know what's best for them. So shout out to him though. He made the best decision that he saw fit for his particular situation. So I wish him the best though. You say going to Jacksonville State. He's a hell of a football player though. We're gonna see what Shala gonna do up there at Tampa Bay. He's at Tampa Bay, so he should be good up there. He should have fun up there. He's in a good situation up at Tampa Bay. The coaches are pretty cool. I think Willis McGahee is there too. You said Tom Young LaChum in the building. Stop playing with me. Too fit to quit? Is you Tom? Say too fit to quit. You Tom? If you are, shout out to Tom, man. Tom Young LaChum, man. He's a OG at this content game. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. He's the OG at this content game. Make no mistakes about it. I don't think a lot of people know that. Um, yeah, Hill Green went to Alabama. Yeah, he show out of Alabama for sure. He getting drafted. He did good this past year. I thought he was going into the draft this year, but he went to Alabama. So CU grads included Travis, Khalil, JB, Trevor, Charlie O, Jimmy Horn, Justin Mayers, Cam Dempsey, Jace Feely, Philip Houston, Amari McNeil, and Sam Okunlola. Nice. Shedeur means the light. Yeah, I read that. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he's in Carolina. I saw that. He reported already. I think he reported yesterday. Mark Bassett was drafted by the CFL. Eventually, he gonna make his way to the NFL. It's just that it's not a lot of room for punters. As soon as a job opens up, he'll probably get called up. That's usually how it works. The CFL, the CFL, NFL is closely linked when it comes to the kickers and punters. Well, really, when it comes to the punters, it's closely linked. So he can get a call up at any time. It just depends on if somebody like get hurt or punters don't usually get hurt, but it's not really like a lot of job openings. But once one opens up, he'll probably get a shot. So that's usually the path for these punters. Sometime you will have a punter get drafted. The last draft, a punter got drafted. This year, I think one did too. But it's just not a lot of jobs to go around. But is Bassett a pro punter? Yes, he's a pro punter. He's a pro punter. You said Pilar and Dion are heavy with pro black philosophy. I know he always say he's unapologetic himself. I know what he means. But I don't see him like really out there pro black. I don't really see it. He says it every now and then. You say, man, we need some brothers up in here. We need some more brothers when he talking about the reporters. We could use some more of us up in here. So yeah, he do it on the low. There's some subtle hints, yes. Nobody was more unapologetic than he was in his career. He was sure of himself, and he had the game to back it up too. He damn sure did. He had the game to back it up. I remember when Jerry Jones got him to Dallas because he was fresh off a championship with the 49ers. Jerry Jones said he had to get him. He said he would have never forgiven himself if he didn't have the opportunity. So he gave him an unprecedented salary at the time. I think it was 35 million. And there's a whole special on YouTube. You can go see it. And Jerry sat the whole team down and said, This is what I'm paying him. Anybody disagree with this? Wow. Now he ain't have to do all that, but that's what he did. He said, anybody disagree with this? And he said, nobody said nothing. And so he has a history of paying people. That's one thing about Jones. He has a history of blessing people pockets. Now he couldn't get Shedeur this time because he already blessed Dak. He blessed Dak pockets so bad that he married to Dak Prescott. He can't get another quarterback. And now, if it was a situation where Shedeur went undrafted, he probably went to Dallas at that point. But he didn't need to draft a quarterback because he married to Dak. Yeah, you don't see their sons. With yeah, you don't either. Contextually, you don't see that. All right, sorry about that. I got a call. Um, but they're really good people though. I mean, their parents did a good job with them boys, man. Bucky, all of them, they did a good job. They're all business like too, all business like, family business, and they're serious about it. They're very serious about it, man. They stay on the grind. You know, every time I turn around, Bucky putting content out. He's traveling, doing this, doing that. His dad is always on the go. You got to do this, doing that. He doing something now with Tubi, stuff like that. They always on the go. The grind don't stop with them. Yeah, there are other things coaches could do that he can't. It's just a political thing, man. And so we already talked about it. He knows that better than all of us. Because remember, Coach Prime is in a unique situation. Okay, never mind that he went to the Hall of Fame. Never mind that. But he was in the broadcasting booth and he excelled at it. He was one of the best to do it. And he walked away from it. He didn't get he didn't get fired. He walked away from it because he had to go coach. I guess it was like he just had to go. He had to. His time was really being consumed by coaching. Making sure his son, like that. And he was not just coaching his son; he was coaching other people too. So I guess like he walked away from the business. He didn't get fired because he's one of the best to do it. Um, so you got to understand he understands the media better than the average person because he was behind. He was there, and not only that, he still got contacts over there. So he's in a very um, special situation here. Usually, coaches retire and they get in the broadcasting booth, like Coach Saban did. And Coach Saban is really good at what he do. Let me tell you what Coach Saban don't do. He don't criticize people. He said it. He said, "I'm not in the business to criticize people." He said, "Because when a player mess up, who feels worse than the player? So I don't have to criticize him." He said, "I try to give solutions on how to get better, encouragement." That's what I like about Coach Saban. He likes Shedeur too. Now you got Coach Saban talking about Shedeur skills. He don't know why he said, "I don't know why he flipped to the fifth round. This is crazy." But it is what it is. He's like, it is what it is, but he got his opportunity. He said he gonna seize it. But you gotta understand, Prime has already been there. He's been in there well over 10 years in the broadcasting booth, and he really was one of the best to do it. So he has all the perspective. He's now that he has the experience coaching at that level, he's been behind the broadcasting booth and he played the game at the highest level. There's nobody really know football like him. Just like I was telling people the first year, he knew what was going wrong on offense. You know what I'm saying? But he's not an offensive coordinator, but he know what's wrong. But he said I have to go out and get the pieces. The pieces not in yet. But it sure as hell on defense he know what's going on. Because you see how he be standing when they practicing. He know exactly what's going on. It kind of reminds me of what Coach Saban used to do. When he used to be out there practicing, he'd be standing in the middle watching them. Because Coach Saban was he played either, I think he was a safety. He played safety. So he's like defensive minded. So if something go wrong, he can see it right away. But Coach also played on the offensive side too. So he got that perspective on how the receivers should line up, how everything should go. Nobody knows that better than him. And now he got coaches around him that's the same way. Nobody knows the game like Marshall Faulk. He was like a coach on the field, Marshall Faulk. Um, um, Warren Sapp, he's a coach on the field. He was like that when he played. You said he was a cornerback, not safety. He did play safety as well. He was a cornerback. You're right. He played safety a little bit too. I think I saw it in his bio. But you said cornerback. Okay, he played cornerback. A couple of Matt McChesney boys joined the O line. They must be local kids. They dogs, because that's what he be training. Not literally, but you know what I'm saying. He trains tough guys. That's what he does. So he's got some tough guys coming. What Matt McChesney did was he played for the Jets, and I remember him at the Jets. What he did was he converted to guard. I don't think he actually converted. He converted to a position. I can't remember what it was. Was it guard? Matt McChesney was pretty good. He actually played. He actually got on the plane and played on Sunday. That's back when you remember they had Nick Mangold there. He was playing with him. You know the All Pro Jet center Nick Mangold. He played with that team, and that was a minute ago. Matt, how old is Matt McChesney? Damn, that's been a minute since he been in the league. Yeah, he played D line. Thank you, and he converted to O line. And I remember they had a write up about that when he played with the Jets. They had a write up about how he's excelling. Yeah, he was a dog, man. Because I remember his face. I'm like, I know him from somewhere. And then I saw his name. And he played with the Jets. Yeah, man. They were, them offensive linemen. They different type of people, man. All of them are tough guys. There was a kid I picked up 2 weeks ago. He's an offensive lineman. He in the league. I don't know what league. I don't know what team he played for. I didn't recognize him, but man, this dude is fucking huge, man. I was like, you sure you can be able to fit in my car, dog? He was out here. He was out here to work out. It was somewhere he was going to Virginia. He was going to Virginia State to work out. Now, he may have played there. No, UVA. I think he played at UVA. There's some different type of cats, man. His freaking luggage was so damn heavy, yo. I'm like, what the fuck? He picked up with no problem. Yeah, there's some different type of animals, man. You said Skip said Shedeur was in an interview and made a joke about his ex-wife leaving him. for her trainer. Tom is butt hurt. No, I don't believe that, yo. I don't believe. Did Skip? I didn't watch the whole thing. Skip said that. Shedeur, hold up. Why would Shedeur do that? I don't think he. You sure he? I don't think Shedeur. Hold up. Skip said Shedeur was in an interview and made a joke about his ex-wife leaving him for her trainer. Tom is butthurt. The knives come out. No doubt Brady had a. Wait a minute. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that happened. I don't believe Shedeur is respectful. I don't believe he did that. I don't know him like that personally, but just based off how Prime is and how he is, I don't think Shedeur would do something like that. I don't think so. I don't believe that. He would not joke with somebody with an elder like that. He would not do that. Because remember, he knows Tom's wife. He knows Tom Brady, and he knows. I don't think he would disrespect his elders like that. I don't think so. No, sir. No, sir. No, he don't. He's not disrespectful like that. Shiloh isn't either. Bucky isn't either. They're very respectful people. Listen, at this point, they need to come out with the tape then and let us see it. Okay? Because I don't believe that. There's no way he disrespected him like that. Because if he did, then okay, then I can see why Tom getting petty. You know what I'm saying? Now I can see why he getting petty, but there's no way Shedeur did that. You could tell when Shedeur was training, going to Well Off Media, the video was there. When Tom Brady was out there training with Shedeur, you see how Shedeur eyes lit up when he was around him. He respect him so much. You could see how he was. You know what I'm saying? So Tom is under the belief like, look, man, you're gonna have to get out the mud like me, man. Like, that's just what it is. I was the 199th pick, so go ahead and get it. Even though he should have had a say so in picking him though, but he claimed he didn't. Lord, Tom. Nah, he don't never he would never be that disrespectful. Never. He would never do that. They need to just come out with the video now. If they gonna keep sitting here putting rumors out there. They need to just some YouTuber came up with that. I promise you. I don't believe. Did Skip say that? Yeah, they lying on him. You know why they lying, right? They covered this whole thing up. What they did. That's why they lying. You said it wasn't a joke. Oh, so Skip said that? All right, hold on, yo. Nah, yo, I still don't believe it. Now, if he did, let's just say hypothetically speaking, if he did, yeah, I see why Tom passed on him. If he did, if he did, if he did, because that's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. If he did do that, that's why he lucky he got drafted. If he did do that, because Tom put a word out, nah, don't draft him, and all the owners fell suit. If that's what happened, but that didn't happen, yo. That didn't happen. Because Tom got that much respect in the league. Let me listen to this, yo. Let me listen to this. Because he got that much respect in the league that if a player said that, then they will all fall suit if Tom felt disrespected. Then I could see why everybody passed, but I don't think he said that. He's not the type that would. He doesn't strike me as a disrespectful person. No, I don't believe that, yo. Because if he did say that, Coach Prime would get on him. He would get on him for that. He would get on him. There's no way he joked about that. There's no way. There's no way. Let me listen to this, yo. You said, well, if he listened to the rest of the podcast, let's listen.
I mean, I own the fact that from the start, I said, these are the things I love about Shedeur Sanders. He's deadly accurate, led the nation in passing percentage last year, completion percentage.
We're going to listen to it.
He's as tough as any quarterback, college quarterback I've ever watched. I've been watching college football for a long, long time.
Okay.
He took hellacious beatings both years.
We
I know
know
he held
this.
the ball too long. I get it. He was trying to, with all of his heart and all his soul, win football games for his pops with a team that was under-talented in way too many spots, often in the offensive line.
Okay, stop. So you said, okay, I don't even need to listen to it anymore. You said, Skip said he was told that Shedeur said that, but he wasn't there. So we can't verify it. We can't verify it.
That can be cured. But the toughness.
But I'm going to tell you something, though. If it's true, that's why he didn't get drafted. Because Tom put a word out. That's why. And everybody felt disrespected by it. Because if it really happened, then I say, okay, now I understand. Because that's a blackballable offense. If he disrespected him like that, that's a blackballable offense. I don't believe that. I'm just telling you that right now. Let's see.
Can't be taught. You know that. The clutchness, God, it can't be taught. You're the clutchest ever. You know. Did you watch the tape? Did you watch him play? Maybe you were busy prepping for your NFL games. I don't know. I saw leadership. I saw sideline leadership. I saw teams feed off him at Colorado both years and at Jackson State. People blast me. I've even had friends call, what's he ever won? Okay. Well, they got to the championship game at Jackson State, turned that program around. They just didn't have enough in Boulder yet. He'll build it. He's going to win a national championship there. But his father, to me, was a strength, not a weakness. I know the NFL condemned this whole situation because of the father, and the father's going to be too involved. I've heard it all. I have been bombarded, Tom, over the last 2 weeks from all sides. I'm getting it from inside and outside, from people I know, people I've known for years. I've heard it all. Too entitled. He's Shedeur. He's spoiled. He's pampered. He flaunts his jewelry. The exotic cars that he drove in Boulder's making, $3 million a year. Highest paid college athlete ever. They were the biggest draw in the history of college football. That's what they were. You want to talk about a TV draw from coast to coast? My God. The world woke up on Saturday to see what Dion and Shedeur were going to do, and Travis, obviously. All I heard was, no, he's just as interested in his rap career. What was his song, Perfect Timing, and that he's doing this, trying to promote his rap song. Got a little traction in Colorado for a while. Promote his clothing line, that he's more interested in his clothing line. I heard it all than his football. I heard all the stories. I hate to even tell them, but I'm just going to hint at them because you've heard them all, Tom. I know you heard them all from the inside. You're privy to all this. There's a story about the Giants involving you, and it could be completely apocryphal, but here's the point. This is the story that got circulated around the NFL.
All right, let's hear it.
This is another one of those inside stories that got passed around that doomed Shedeur to the 5th round. It was something about during the interview, they had a couple, but during one of the interviews, somebody with the Giants, I don't know if it was executive or coach, asked Shedeur about you, Shedeur's relationship with you, the mentoring, teaching, coaching. And somebody asked some question about, is Tom your role model? Do you try to model your life after Tom's? And Shedeur said something like, well, I don't want to model myself after his wife left him for a trainer. And I don't even know if he said that, but I've heard it again and again. from too many people, and I don't know if he was trying to be cool and tell a joke or make people laugh, or I don't know what it was, but I heard that doomed him with the Giants. Okay, fine.
All right, stop. They need to come out with the tape then. We need to hear that. Because if he did say that, yes, that's why he went to the fifth round. You can't talk down on the GOAT. You just can't. So if he did do that, yes, he was out of pocket, and now we understand why. But I have to hear him say that. I have to hear that come out of his mouth. Did you really say that? Did you really say that? Because if he did, I'm like, wait a minute now. Now you can't do that. Now I see why Tom didn't draft him. If that's the case, this ain't about football now. This is personal. You know what I'm saying? But Tom didn't say that. Tom didn't say it, and they're saying that he heard it. So how do we know that they're not lying? Because they could lie now. Don't get me wrong, they could lie. So here's the thing. Now that Skip said that, now that it's out there, what would I do if I was on Shedeur's PR team? And if I know he didn't say it, I would want them to retract that. I would want them to retract that and tell I didn't say that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they have to drop the footage at this point. Because if he did, we all gonna understand. Because if he did say that, then we can all stop talking about it. Okay, bro, you lucky you got with the Browns. You're lucky. Because that's an offense where he probably wouldn't have got drafted if the owner hadn't intervened. He wouldn't have got drafted because if Tom don't put the stamp of approval on you and he one of the greatest to do it, you're not getting drafted, fam. And if especially if you said that about the trainer. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like I just can't see Shedeur saying that. I just can't see him saying it. Yeah, it's hearsay. Hearsay, that's an objectable thing. When there's hearsay in court, the lawyer get up and say, objection, Your Honor. What's your grounds for your objection? Hearsay. Okay, sustain. The judge will sustain it. Okay, he's not overruling it. He's sustaining it. You can't do hearsay in court. So we don't go by hearsay. We need to see the tape. I know they recorded it because they record all of the interviews. If they really want to stop this right here, if they really want to stop it, just put the tape out and be like, look, this kid made a mistake. He talked about Tom like this. This was disrespectful. Then all of us will understand at this point. But here's what I would say: if it's true, Shedeur, you are really behind the eight ball here. They have not finished with you yet. If you did say that, they haven't finished with you yet. They if you said that, they gonna make it. They gonna see that you're gonna try to play in Canada. They not playing, not with disrespect. So I don't believe that. That's too serious of a that's too serious of infraction, and he knows better than that. It's too serious of an. I don't believe it. It's too serious of an infraction. If he did say it, and he said that about the GOAT, yeah, they gonna fuck around and have him playing in Canada, yo, for real. Like if he did say that, yeah. If he did say that, then I can understand. Like, bro, what's going on? Why'd you say that? But I don't believe that. Now, Shedeur did come out and say he wished he had a did some things better in the interviews. He did say that. He wished he could have you live and you learn type of thing. That's a serious infraction. That's a serious infraction, yo. Like his wife left him for the trainer. That's telling everybody that you are arrogant. And that's telling everybody that you're arrogant and you will not play in he won't last in the league. If he did that, he ain't gonna last. But I don't believe that. I don't believe that. That's too serious of an infraction. That's very disrespectful. So I don't believe that. You said the Giants never and drafted a black quarterback ever. Well, they got two black quarterbacks there now. They got one that's starting. Um, I don't think it's like that. I mean, if you look at the Giants lineage, let's go back for a second. They had Phil Simms for a very long time. Nobody was taking Phil Simms' place. They had Jeff Hostetler for a very long time. Nobody was taking Jeff Hostetler's place. So there was no drafting to be had. Okay, Phil Simms, Jeff Hostetler. Um, and then they had a host of others. And Eli Manning was there for so long, there was no replacing Eli Manning. So there was no drafting nobody, because Eli Manning was there. He won two Super Bowls. There was no replacing Eli Manning. Now after that, I could see what you're saying, but at the particular time, the Giants didn't really need a quarterback. When Michael Vick got drafted, they weren't available to get Michael Vick because they would have got Michael Vick. I'm telling you this. If the Giants had a chance to get Michael Vick, they would have got Michael Vick, but he wasn't available for the Giants to get Michael Vick. I'm just telling you this. Um, I'm not trying to take up for that organization, but they got two black quarterbacks there. If they don't like black quarterbacks, they wouldn't have Russell Wilson there. They wouldn't have Jameis Winston there. But as far as drafting them throughout history, yeah, I don't think they have drafted one. You're right. I don't think so. But at the time when Eli Manning went to the Giants, they traded up for him and got Eli Manning. They didn't draft Eli Manning. Remember, Eli Manning got drafted to the Chargers. The Giants traded up for him. He was the best quarterback available at the time. So, let me see. When Michael Vick, like I said, he was the highest pick, right? He wasn't available for the Giants at that particular time. There hasn't been too many black quarterbacks to get drafted that high in the history of the football. Yeah, actually, it's been a few here lately. But I'm talking about 80s, 90s. Because we had a whole big situation with black quarterbacks back then. They didn't think they were, are they suited for the job? It was a whole big thing back in the day with the league that they had to clean up. Vic he got drafted really high. Um, his cousin played for the New Orleans Saints, Michael Vick's cousin. He played for the New Orleans Saints at the time. Michael Vick played in Atlanta. Um, I'm trying to see. Let me see. They drafted Daniel Jones and Lamar Jackson over Daniel Jones over Lamar Jackson. That was a problem. Yeah, you're right about that. Thank you for reminding me that. Yeah, that was a problem. They should have drafted Lamar Jackson for sure. But guess what? It worked out for Lamar Jackson though, where he's at. But yes, that is a good, perfect example. Daniel Jones over Lamar Jackson. And what is Daniel Jones doing now? There's another one though. There's not just Lamar Jackson. There was another one. So, guys, they have to show proof of this. You can't, because if he did say it, let me just say this, guys. If he did say it, I understand. I understand why he flew. Because something happened. Something went wrong for him to go in the fifth. Something went wrong. So if they feel like he disrespected, then they need to say it. So then we'll be quiet about it. Like, okay, I get that. Like, damn, that's disrespect, man. Like for real. Like Tom is old school. Like he's 40 something. We don't accept disrespect like that. Okay? We don't. But he said he texted Shedeur. Remember? He texted Shedeur. He said, don't matter where you get drafted at. So I don't believe that happened. Because he wouldn't have texted him. Like I'm not texting him off disrespect like that until he apologized. But I don't believe that happened. Because he texted Shedeur, said it don't matter where you get drafted, just go do your thing. Yeah, Steve McNair. Steve McNair. But sometimes these scouts get it wrong, dog. They get it wrong. Michael Vick's cousin was before Michael Vick. Aaron is older than Michael Vick. He was there. He was in the NFL before Michael Vick. Michael Vick came 2 years later. It was quite a it's Mike. It was quite a number of quarterbacks. RG3. I don't know if the but when RG3 came around, the Giants had Eli Manning, so they weren't trying to get no quarterback when RG3 was coming out. Now here's the thing: he may have said something to Coach Prime and Michael. They may have had stuff behind the scenes, but we don't know. Obviously, if he really did say that, nobody's going to come out with it because that's a PR situation. That make him look bad. So maybe that was handled behind the scenes. And like, look, we chastised him, Prime. He got in the 5th round. We chastised him. If that was the case, because Coach Prime said he was before the draft. He said he getting ready for some bull junk. He know the bull junk is coming. So, but I just don't believe that, guys. I don't. I could be wrong, but I just don't believe the kid will be that disrespectful. No, I'm not saying. I said he texted him. That means that if he was really that disrespectful, he wouldn't have texted him. That's what I meant. I ain't talking about the sabotage part. That's a whole different situation. I want to know if he said this about Tom and his wife, though, his ex-wife. I want to know if he said that. Because if he said that, that's the reason why he fell in the 5th. Then now we have our reason now. And now he's gonna have to work. I mean, if he really said that, he can't make no mistakes. Or he'll be in Canada. He can't make no mistakes. None. Because they have it out for him now. But I don't believe it. I don't believe he would. Now, one thing I saw him do was hilarious. I saw it was just hilarious. I think it's hilarious when he do that. When he got drafted, right? He was on the phone with the people and all that. He said, "Yeah, I thank you for drafting me and stuff." This was before Coach actually have the phone. He said, "What that mean?" Well, something she said to him. He said, "What does that mean?" He just kind of looked at the camera. It was hilarious. I thought that was funny. And then Coach took over the phone and talked to the owner. But I don't see him as a problematic kid, man. I don't. You said, who do you think Shedeur and Prime is going to believe now, Skip or Tom? They can't believe nobody because it's hearsay. You know what I'm saying? If he did do it, that's his business, right? If he did do it, but I'm talking about the general public is hearsay. And Skip Bayless said it. He said he heard, what I'm saying, that Tom was involved in a Giants interview. But if he was involved in the Giants interview and that really happened, that's the reason why he fell to the 5th round. I'm telling y'all that they chastised him. They took his money away. They said, okay, since you're gonna be like that, we taking your money away. But it's not logical though. Now, if Shedeur come out and said, "Yeah, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have said that," I'm like, "Oh Lord, Shedeur, no wonder, no wonder." See, I'll be the first to say it because I'm real. I say, "Sure, listen, no wonder, no wonder." That's a big gaffe. That's a huge situation. But I don't believe it though. I don't believe that. But that quickly gets around the league though, and all the owners like, he said, "What?" Okay, but it's not logical. This kind of messed Skip shit up. Like I'm giving Skip a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? And then he said that. Ah, damn, man. Mm. Because as far as I'm concerned, he said that they ain't friends no more. Like Tom is being like political, but we ain't friends no more. Yo, I ain't helping you no more, yo. You said some shit like that. Like this, I'm your elder. Tom is his elder, right? You don't do elders like that. And he wasn't raised like that, so I don't believe that. Boy, they really trying to make up storylines on this kid. So I haven't seen this, and I haven't seen this ever. The only Tom, the only thing that's kind of reminiscent is the Johnny Manziel. They said he's arrogant. He just want money because he had to show me the money sign. He's do the show me the money sign, but he still got drafted high. You know, he didn't last too much in the league, but Joe Burrow act like that. He got a ego. Joe Burrow does. Um, you gotta have some type of like ego as a quarterback. That self assurance. But if they said like, is that your role model? He said, I don't know how they could be my role model. Let me hear this again, because I don't believe he said that bullshit. I don't.
Model. Do you try to model your life after Tom's? And Shedeur said something like, well, I don't want to model myself after his wife left him for a trainer. And I don't even know if he said that, but I've heard it again and again from too many people. And I don't know if he was trying to be cool and tell a joke or make people laugh, or I don't know what it was, but I heard that doomed him with the Giants. Okay, fine. He's still just a kid. Maybe he was trying to act cool. And then there was what he did say publicly about don't take me unless you want your culture changed. And I heard that several people up high in Pittsburgh, including Mike Tomlin, were like, okay, we're out on him now because we don't need our culture changed. We are a culture. We've had a culture from the start. We are the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I don't even know if that's true, but that's the kind of story that picked up steam and grew longer and longer legs, and those legs just stamped all over Dion and Shedeur. It just made me sick because I think he's a good kid, and I think he's a good kid. And I know he's a hard worker. There's some video out there, I think it was distributed by the Sanders family, to promote Colorado football. It's Cam Ward. In the video, Shedeur asked Cam, hey, when we get finished working out, you want to go record rap songs? And Cam's like, what? All I care about is being a great quarterback. Okay, so NFL people are like, see, that's why you don't. I've read so many NFL executives. I've read Jared Bell's column today in USA Today about how 3 anonymous executives are saying, one had a first-round grade on Shedeur, the other 2 had a second-round grade. Well, he fell to the 5th round. So they're pretty much admitting, well, it went beyond football. It was personal. Yeah, it was personal. It's about all this stuff. If you need a high performance...
So he said it's all this other stuff.
So in the end, it wasn't like Brady actually called me out, because he didn't call me out by name on the Jake Paul podcast. He just said that was wrong. And by translation, of course, I'm wrong. But Tom did it with the big, broad brush. He condemned the media, took the cowardly way out. Just take me on, Tom. I don't care. I can take it because I'm right. Tom said on the Jake Paul podcast, that's the problem with media, is everyone can just say whatever the fuck they want. See, if you say the F word, then it's like, you really mean it. You're really passionate about it.
Right.
You can say whatever the fuck you want and get away with it, said Tom to Jake Paul. And he concluded, it used to be a lot of integrity in the media. Well, I've been in the media for these. That was my first year out of Vanderbilt. I started at the Miami Herald in 1974, so it's been a while. I'd like to say I've had a lot of integrity. I'd like to say that I work really hard at telling the truth and backing it up. That's what I do and what I've done for these however many years it's been.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. You're going to have to back up what you said, though. You said you heard that he said that about Tom Brady and his ex-wife. You're going to have to, what, they're going to have to come up with some kind of footage, man, for me to believe that, for sure.
And I did have Dion on my show. I do know Dion. I do keep in touch with people in that circle. And I'm just telling you that the league decided to teach Dion and in turn Shedeur a lesson. And it all started when Dion was on the Dan Patrick radio show, radio TV show, obviously from Radio Row in New Orleans before the Super Bowl. And he made the statements about he might go Archie Manning on the top of the draft, navigate his son, orchestrate, tell some teams that no, we're not interested in playing for you. We're going to go here. Just the way Archie Manning did for Eli, obviously, as he navigated Eli from San Diego to the Giants. And I kept hearing, just too brash, just too arrogant. Both, Father, it's like chip off the old block, that this is Neon Dion all over again. I'm telling you, this kid can play.
He can.
I've been doing this for a long time. He can play. But now, Tom, of course, you're part of the NFL power structure. You're an owner as well as a broadcaster. And I worked at Fox for 8 years, and I didn't appreciate the fact that you bullied them, you bigfooted them. They'd given you what was it?
He said Tom big bullied him and got 300 and some million for broadcasting.
And then all of a sudden, you bullied them, you bigfooted them. They'd given you what was it? $375 million for 10 years, and then all of a sudden you yank the magic carpet out from under him and say, well, I also want to be an owner, which means you'll be handicapped as a broadcaster because your access will be limited to teams because you're an owner. Okay? So you did that, and yet the last thing you said that I read was about the negative media. You said, actually, it probably hurts a lot of relationships, which is not the goal of broadcasting. So wait a second. Hurts a lot of relationships. I don't really understand that one. What? So are you asking me and all those other negative media voices to protect you so that you can stay close to Shedeur and to Dion, obviously? You can kind of fake it with them and give them that phony smile and act like everything's hunky-dory when you did veto Shedeur to your team 7 times they passed. And you can then say to Shedeur, I have no idea what happened. I don't get it, but hey, man, you got to stay the course. You got to do just what I did. You got to go to work. You got to get in the film room. You got to show them that they're wrong. This will be great for you. You can say all that to Shedeur and be that smiling assassin that you were. And by the way, I said this from the start. There are always 2 Tom Bradys. Did I ever love the football killer Tom Brady? I called him Psycho Tom. He was the GOAT. Clutchest ever. I've said it from the start. Tom, you were 80% of the reason.
He wasn't clutch against the New York Giants and Eli Manning, though. They had his number. Eli had his numbers. I just want to say that to y'all, just for historical fact. Eli had his number. He could not beat the Giants with Eli Manning. Okay? That's how Eli won 2 Super Bowls. Let's continue.
That the Patriots were a dynasty. I'll give Belichick, 10% of it. But you were it. And boy, did Psycho Tom ever come out publicly one time at the end of that Brady roast on Netflix when you roasted Belichick. You emasculated him. Brought down the house and the curtain all right on Belichick's head that night. Loved it. Wish we could get a little of that from Tom, the NFL broadcaster, but we can't because there's that alter ego. It's aw shucks, gee whiz, nice guy Tom, wants everybody to love him. It's the broadcaster who just nice guys us all to death with your cliches and your platitudes, sidestepping the truth, trying to sort of paint everything perfectly. It's all going to be okay. I just wish you'd just tell the truth. Just let it fly. I know there's so much more inside you, Tom, that you could tell that you don't. But all I know for sure right now is this is what I hope for Shedeur. I remain a big fan, even though I'm taking a beating about this from people I know, people who say I'm wrong. Right, everybody had at least a second round grade. Why did he fall to the 5th? I'm just hoping that now Shedeur Sanders will make Tom Brady look almost as stupid as Tom Brady made the entire NFL look. That's what I'm hoping will happen. And by the way, Tom, I'm happy if you join me on any of my shows. I'll join you on whatever platform you're on. I would be happy for you to come at me and attempt to refute every last word that I just spoke about you. You'd be more than welcome. You can have as much time as you want. I don't care. I will respond. But you won't because you can't. Because you know that every word I just spoke was obviously the truth.
Okay.
Steve, you always buy books.
All right, he flamed him. But I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I don't believe it, though. So the person, yeah, thank you. I listened to the whole podcast now. He did say that. But I just don't believe the story, do you? I don't know. See, I have to be there to believe. I have to see. You have to prove it to me. I have to see. Because, with the technological age, there's a lot of footage out there. They got it recorded. There has to be some type of recording somewhere. And if it is, then I'll understand. Okay, I see why now. I see why he didn't go to the Raiders. You said, apparently, you said the interview was supposed to be formal, but apparently, two didn't know that. He still had his guard down. You said, I think we need to consider that two has never had to interview for anything, and they use that to their advantage. Two was just being himself. You said, don't be calling my city Chirac. Yeah, Abdul Carter footage was released. And also, is that his name? Abdul Carter? Yeah. There's a lot of people footage was released. A little bit of their footage. Them meeting with the team and stuff. It was this one, what was that wide receiver that went to the Buffalo Bills? He gave a funny interview. Remember that? His footage was released. and they was like, they said, so do you play golf? He said, I'm more like something Woods. He said, I forget what he said. It was something funny because he said he played golf and stuff like that, but he said he's not really good at golf. But it was hilarious the way he said it, and they loved him because that was his formal interview with the team. They were all had him in a they were questioning him, and he said, I just like to play football, but I do play golf and stuff like that. And but he said I'm Tiger wish I could. That's what he said. I'm like more like Tiger wish I could, but I could play a little golf. And they loved him. Max, apparently the judge has adjourned for the day and said, see you Monday. Okay, so they got the jury selected. It don't take long to get the jury selected. Both sides know who they want. They get like 10 apiece or something like that, plus the alternates. They like, all right, I want this person. Okay, you want that person? I want this person. You want that person? It don't take long to seat the jury. It should be breaking news that they seated the jury. But if he adjourned for today and he didn't seat the jury, then it's going to continue Monday, and then the trial will commence Monday. After the jury is seated, they go opening statements. Yeah, and if he said basically Tom did this to two, now if the story is correct that he made a joke about his wife going with the trainer, I see why Tom did it. I see why. I will give Tom a pass. But I need to know it's true or not. If it's true and they can prove it to me, I see why Tom did that because I would have did it. I would have made sure he didn't get drafted if he did that to me because that's disrespectful. I'm your elder. I helped you. You don't disrespect me like that. Okay? He wouldn't have got drafted. He would have been an undrafted free agent messing with me. And if I had that kind of pull in the NFL, because I had said it, the way it's happening, he might not get drafted. But the Cleveland Browns the owner pulled the trigger on it. But I just don't believe he got that disrespectful. But if he did, yeah, he gonna learn. He gotta learn. And the crazy thing is, if he was that disrespectful, I'm preparing you guys now. They're not done with him yet. They're not done. If he did, he's not. And Tom is not gonna say anything. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't believe that, man. I don't. Why would he say something like that? Why would he say no? He's not my role model because his wife left him for the trainer. Why would you say that? And if he did say it, then I'm gonna have to look. I always try to find a reason for everything. Maybe all them sacks got to him. We need to evaluate him. Like maybe them sacks got. Maybe we need to give him a pass. Maybe all them damn sacks. Nah, I don't believe he said that, man. Yeah, Coleman, the one on the Bills. That dude is hilarious, yo. He's funny without being funny. He was like, and then when he first got drafted, they were talking about his jacket. So I got this on the sale rack. He said, show you. I'll take you where show you where I got it from. He said, I got it on the sale rack. He said, because it's a little cold up here and I needed a jacket. He said, but he said, I got it on the sale rack. I got a deal on it. And it was just funny that way he said it, but he wasn't trying to be funny. Yeah, I need to hear that, Brown girl, because I'm telling you, if he did say it, then yeah, we'll understand. I hope he didn't say it because if he did say it, he in trouble still. They haven't finished with him. Yeah, he said, yeah, Macy's. They got all the colors. I could take you. He said, I got it. He said, I got it for a discount. That was hilarious when he said that. And then he was like, hey, is those snacks? Can I get some of those? He said, can I get some of those cookies? Yo, it's just why not draft a kid like that? That's that funny. He said, y'all got all type of snacks in here. He said, can I get some of those? He said, yeah. They like, sure. Yeah, that was hilarious. But his interview, they had the because his interview was so hilarious, they released it because the team loved him. Because he was sitting there, he was like, "Yeah, I'm about football and stuff like that, and you know, I'm about this, I'm about that." They said, "What do you do in your free time?" He said, I do this and that. I play a little golf." They said, "Oh, you play golf?" He said, "I'm more like Tyke. I wish I could, but I can't play." Just the way he said it. I'm more like Tiger. Wish I could. he said. He said, but it relaxes me. You know what I'm saying? I like to play golf because it relaxes me, and they loved him. It was. He was also being himself. He was being himself. They want you to be yourself, even though it's formal. They still want you to be yourself, but you don't have to. You don't. You don't want. They don't want you to be disrespectful. But as long as you be yourself, it's fine. No, it's no way Deion's son said that, yo. It's no way. And here's the thing: if that is going around, I think he got a lawsuit because if he didn't say it, then he almost have to now. Because I would do it. I'm like, dude, I didn't say that. I like Tom, I didn't say that, yo. And that could have been the very reason why he slipped in the draft. Because if that got went to all the owners, they'd be like, damn, this dude a head case. Why would he say some shit like that? You know? Yeah, they would have to, and I know people strategically come into the chat and try to say something or whatever. You could strategically try to come in and tell us whatever. I don't believe he said that. You have to, well, here's the thing. This is what I want you to do. If somebody told you strategically to come in here, this is what I want you to tell them. Drop the footage so we can shut up. Drop the footage. Because I'm 100. I will make a whole video telling him he in trouble, that he disrespectful. I'll make a whole video saying it. So drop the footage. Just tell them to go drop the footage because it don't exist if they don't drop the footage. Because that'll shut everybody up. You said how the hell the truth disrespectful? Nah, that's disrespectful because they had a relationship and he mentored Shedeur. And if he said that's not my role model because his wife left him for the trainer, if you don't think that's disrespectful, then me and you, we can just agree to disagree. That's disrespectful. That's straight up disrespectful. And Tom is his elder. You don't disrespect somebody that mentored you and did all this and that. You don't do that. Yes, if you don't think that's disrespectful, then I don't know what to tell you. But we just finished saying we don't know if he said it or not. We need to see the film. We need to see the film. But if I see the film of him saying that, then yes, I understand. But I'm gonna tell you something though. They're not finished with him yet. If he did say something like that. Or I could see why he dropped to the fifth round if he said that. Now, if you don't understand how disrespectful that is, I want to know how old you are. I want to know how old you are. You can't be my age. You can't be. Because we grew up a certain way. We had to say yes, sir, and no, sir to elders. We respected our elders when how we grew up. This new generation don't think that way. That's why every now and then they be getting taught a lesson out here messing with the wrong one. Nah, yo, that's disrespectful. Yeah, why would he come? Well, yeah, why? I guess they said, well, I guess you worked out with Tom and stuff. He was your mentor. I guess they wanted to know a little bit about that. And if he said, nah, how can he be my mentor? Whatever. It just don't sound like it don't sound right. It don't sound right. It don't sound right for him to say that. But if you're saying how is the truth disrespectful, that's disrespectful to bring up that situation and like it's making fun of it. That's disrespectful. And yes, he need to be taught a lesson. And I will be the first one to make a video and say, listen, you need to be taught a lesson. And that lesson was the fifth round. They took your money away from you. But I'm gonna tell you something though. If he did say it, they're not finished with him. They're not finished with him, man. That's why a lot of us are having a hard time believing he said that. Because if he did say it, I ain't going. I'm done with it. I'm like, it is what it is now. My kid won't say nothing like that. And sure as hell, Coach Prime kids don't say nothing like that. Okay? So that is what it is. You said old enough to tell the truth. He's not an elder. If he gets in his feeling, he is an elder, dog. What are you talking about? Tom is in his 40s. Shedeur is in his 20s. He's an elder to Shedeur, man. Matter of fact, how old are you? How old are you? And you sitting up here writing in all caps, man. Yo, listen, bro, you got to go, man. Listen, man, listen. I blocked you. I blocked you because me and you ain't the same. So I had to block you. Okay, me and you ain't the same, yo. I'm almost 50. So I'm not having no discussion like this with you, understand? I'm not having no discussion with you like this. Okay? If you don't know that that's disrespectful, then you don't allow to be sitting up here talking to me. I grew up in the Reagan administration. Okay? We got the switch when I grew up. We got the belt and the switch when I grew up. We couldn't talk I couldn't even talk down to the neighbors. And then the neighbors would hit me. That's where I grew up. Okay? And if you sitting up here writing in all caps, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I said we don't believe it until we see the film. That's what I said. I don't give a damn if it's the truth that his wife left him for the trainer. He's not supposed to say that. Okay? And if you can't understand that, you don't need to be over here. Go somewhere else, man. Go somewhere else, man. Yeah, I'm almost 50 years old. I don't take disrespect from nobody. None. None. Okay? You don't sit it, nobody corrects me. Okay? Because I have the battle scars to prove it. Okay? I don't been through it all. You know what I'm saying? I grew up a certain type of way where we don't disrespect our elders. Okay? And I know you young people like to disrespect elders until you come to somebody like me and you mess around and get laid the fuck down. Because everybody ain't going. Because you mess with the wrong person. Let me tell y'all something real quick. You go out here and disrespect the wrong person on the street, they'll lay you down. They will lay you down. Okay? They will lay you down. You always have to have respect for everybody. I don't care who they are. I don't care if it's a homeless person on the street. You better have some respect because you don't know what that person got on them, and you don't know if that person meant mine is getting ready to go. You got to have respect for everybody. That's how I grew up. If you sitting up here saying the truth, that means you a youngster. You don't need to be talking to me anyway. Okay, I'm not trying to disrespect you, but if you don't think that something like that is disrespectful and Tom is not an elder, then we don't need to be talking. We don't need to be talking. Just like we got on some players that called Coach Prime Dion. Remember that? We got on players that did that. You're not supposed to call him Dion. He's your elder. You call him Coach Prime. That's that. And me and Coach Prime, we grew up in the same type of environment. He know about the belt because he talked about it. He know about the belt. He know about the switch. Go get me a switch off the tree, man. He knows that. We grew up in the same situation. We don't disrespect elders. We say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Yes, sir, no, sir. I don't give a damn if it's a janitor working at um, working at uh, the airport in Oakland. I don't care if it's a janitor working at the airport. You know they make their base salary is 100,000 a year. By the way, I don't give a damn if he's a janitor working at the airport in Oakland. You say yes, sir, and no, sir. I don't care how much money you have. You say yes, sir, and no, sir, because it's all about your character at the end of the day. It ain't about money. Because 5 years from now, 30 years from now, people are only going to remember how you treated them. They don't care how much money you have. The only memory somebody's going to have, how did they feel when they last saw you? And I'm teaching a life lesson for this dude that didn't realize it. Okay? I'm teaching you a life lesson. You have to have respect for everybody here because somebody will blow your top off out here. And I'm in these streets every day. Okay? I'm in these streets. There's people out here walking around that will blow your fucking top off for less. You have to have respect for everybody. And if they don't respect you, walk away. Okay? Tom is his elder. Yes, he is. Tom don't Shedeur hasn't won nothing yet. Tom has already won every Super Bowl in the book. Okay? He's his elder. Or as we say, understudy. We have respect in this world. If he did say it, I'll be the first to say he's out of pocket. I'm real over here. Okay, I'm real over here. But I don't believe the kid said it. So I believe the Giants is out of pocket for spreading misinformation. That's what I said. I'm giving this kid the benefit of the doubt here. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. And even if it's a formal interview and he was still being himself, he's supposed to be himself. What the hell is he supposed to be? He's Shedeur Sanders. What are he supposed to be? He's supposed to be himself. That's it. Yo, I grew up in Catholic school, right? There's a cardinal right now that just voted for the Pope because I know him. Because he was my priest when I was at Our Lady of the Valley in New Jersey. He used to approve the nuns of hitting us, yo. And you think I'm gonna disrespect them? Nah, we supposed to get hit. They used to hit us with rulers, man. Rulers. You know what they used to do for the boys we act up? You know how they say you hold your hand out? Turn your hand over. Turn your hand over so we can hit bone. When they start hitting them knuckles, they said turn them hands over so we can get them knuckles. That's what they used to do to the boys. Because the hand when we turn our hand out, it didn't work. They had to hit knuckle for us to understand. See, that's where I grew up. So we have respect for people, and we needed it. Trust me, we needed it. We needed that kind of discipline. That kept some of us out of jail. Do you understand that? That kept some of these people that's going to jail now. They never had no discipline. They never had no structure. They never had no discipline. That's why they're sitting up in jail. Listen, just because everybody grew up in the hood don't mean you go to jail. I grew up in the hood. I got education. Why? Because I was scared of my mother. That's why. I wish I would talk back to my mother even right now. At almost 50 years old, I wish I would talk back to my mother. I wish I would. Okay? I wish I would because I got respect. All the old ladies like me because I hold the door, carry their bags, everything. Okay? That's what we lost in this world. We lost that respect. And if he did do it, they're not finished with him. I promise you this. They're not finished. They're going to make sure he's in Canada if he did do that. If he don't apologize, if he did it. So that's why I don't believe it, because it's like that don't have nothing to do with the Giants. What does his marriage like have to do with the Giants? That's why it don't make sense. They could be trying to cover it up because of the collusion situation. But listen, man, I don't believe that story. I know the new pope is from Chicago. Somebody didn't like the fact that I said shot. Somebody said Chirac. I think I said Chirac. They said don't call my city Chirac. Well, your city got a lot of problems. It does. Your city got a lot of problems with black and brown people hurting each other. So let's talk about that. Y'all got a lot of problems over there. All right. So you blame DJ Academics for naming y'all Chirac. He sure did. He named y'all Chirac, man. Don't come over here getting offended because y'all sitting up there. Chicago got problems. Okay. And now one thing that I do know about Chicago is one of the most racially segregated cities in the nation. They're the most. It's very hard to make it out of Chicago. But let me tell you something. It's not hard to make it out of Chicago. Go get a fucking education and go make it out of Chicago. There's a kid in Newark, New Jersey. He's from the hood too. He scored a perfect score on the SAT. He scored a 1600, and he's from the hood. So it don't matter where you come from. You just be serious about your education, and you'll get out. Well, it's still hard. Well, then join the military then, and then get a free education. It's a way to get out. Trust me. But see, when I was growing, let me tell you something real quick. When I was growing up, the people that went to jail and died prematurely, they did it to get easy money. Okay, don't listen. They got easy money. They were sitting up there buying all types of spot built sneakers, getting all the Deons. That's what we used to call them back in the day, the Deons, the neon Deons, Coach Prime sneakers, getting all the sneakers, the Jordans, and getting fast money, right? And then he's sitting up in jail and they got 20, 30 years. That's their fault. That's their fault. If somebody put cocaine in your face, does that mean you got to sell it? No, I didn't sell it. It's all about structure and discipline. Don't matter where you from. I think he said that, CZ. There's no way he said that. There's no way, yo. But if he did say it, then he understands more than anybody else why he felt like that. And he just got to prove himself, which he's more than capable of doing. But I don't see how Tom. I don't see how that. I don't see how that's a logical answer. I don't get all that. I don't know if I'm the voice of the voices. I'm a voice with people that got common sense. That's just what it is. So we need to see the footage for us to believe it. And the Lord have mercy. If I see the footage, Lord have mercy. Hey, I'll shut up at that point. I don't even think I will acknowledge. I just shut up. I'm like, all right, it is what it is. Yeah, because at this point, if there is a video and they put it out, they'll shut us all up. You said, what did he supposedly say? Well, Skip Bayless said he heard him say that they was asking, the Giants was asking him about Tom Brady, and is it like your role model or something? And he said, I don't know about role model. His wife left him for the trainer. That's disrespectful if he did say that, and I see why he fell to the fifth round if he did say that, but I don't believe he said it, Chantel. Chantel, did they seat the jury? I'm understanding that they may have set the jury because they adjourned for today. Did you hear about them seating the jury? Yeah, look at Chantel. She said, "Oh damn, yeah." If he did say that, that's out of pocket. That's out of pocket, fam. That's a serious infraction. And the thing is, his wife, his wife didn't leave him for the trainer. They had got divorced, and she moved on and got, people move on and get boyfriends. They had got divorced already, so that's not true. Leave him for the trainer. They got divorced. Tom moved on. He don't just have his business out there. I know he got all type of flavor around him. Oh, they haven't officially selected. The trial is delayed, to my understanding. The trial is delayed. You know what that means, Chantel? He might be working on a deal. He might take the deal. He might take the deal, Chantel. If the trial is delayed, he might be working a deal. He might be thinking about taking a deal. That's what I had a dream about that. He didn't have a trial. He took a deal. That's what I'm thinking now. Because he's risking too much. He's risking the rest of his life in prison. That's not logical, because you can't predict what the jury is saying. So maybe his OG lawyers are telling him that. Brian Still and them is telling him this. Like, look, bro, there's no way you can win this. We can work this deal out for you in the last minute so you can get 10 or below. Because if they can work out 10 or below, he'll be home in 7. So he better, because Big Meech, he got 20. Let me see. Big Meech got 20 years. No, Big Meech was sentenced to 20 years, and he damn near did the whole 20. No, he got sentenced to 25, and he did 20 years. Okay. See, a lot of people thought he snitched. No, he didn't. He did damn near all the time they gave him. But he could get time. But when Trump passed that bill, some of Big Meech's time got shaved off. A lot of people don't know that. Trump had signed this thing to where if it was a non-violent situation, you get time shaved off. That's how Big Meech got out. See, I know the law, yo. But in this situation for Puff, he needs to take the deal. He needs to take the deal at this point. He's 56 years old. Okay? He's 56 years old. If he blow trial, he got life, yo. He got life. He looking at a minimum of 15 years. So here's the thing, guys. Look, he's looking at a minimum of 15 years. So that was the deal that they gave him initially, 15. What he can do is, if he got lawyers, he can negotiate that down to at least 8 or 9. Because if he can get it down to 8 or 9, now he in the ball game. Now he can take it. He got already time served, and if he got 8 years, so he already got time served. He damn near did a year. So let's say 7, and then out of that 7 years, he's looking at 5 to do. He can do 5. He's 56. He'll be out in his 60s, and he still got his life ahead of him. That's probably what's happening. They probably working out a deal for him right now, for sure. My cousin was in it. Unfortunately, I had a cousin that was in the federal system. He didn't go to trial. He said, bro, and that was in New York. He's like, bro, I'm not going to trial, fam. They offer him, because I never forget when they sentenced him. I'm sitting there at the sentence. I said, yo, they gave him 10 years, dog. That's a long time. He was so fucking relieved that he got that 10, because they called him dead to rights. He was so freaking relieved that he got that 10 years. He wound up getting out before that, because some time got shaved off. He got into a program. He's never been back. He owns 2 barbershops now. He owns two barbershops in a food truck. He's doing very well. And he told me, he said, bruh, he said, I know you're going to the trial, but he said, Diddy he said the feds got something in their back pocket, dog. He said he need to take the deal. Yeah, the opening, so that means I ain't got to be in New York that early. That means I ain't got to be, because if they still doing jury selection Monday, I can get there at like 6 or 7 in the morning, because we're not getting in anyway. And then by the time jury selection over, I can just chill out there and just go in the courtroom. So that might work it out for everybody. Yeah, he did. He did some time in the feds, man. He never went back, never looked back. And his brother, it's crazy. Like, my family is not perfect, but his brother, my other cousin, he did some time in MDC where Puff is at. He said, bruh, he said they serve the food cold. That's number one. And you got to do something to the socket in the wall to start a fire, to heat your food up. I forget how he did it, but he said you gotta set a fire with the socket so you can heat your food up, because they serve the eggs cold. They give you a hard boiled egg, but it's cold. And you don't eat the mystery meat. Yeah. Here's the thing. Number one, Primat. Here's what we thinking. We don't believe the slander. They don't believe the slander because they haven't produced no videos of Shedeur being disrespectful. They haven't produced. They have to produce a video because they have the video because they record that shit. So if they want to shut us up, produce the video, but they can't do that. So he didn't do that. He didn't do that. I've been watching the kid for the past 5 years. He don't look disrespectful. He don't be doing nothing disrespectful. He just do his own thing. You said what's the mystery meat? Oh, and also you don't drink the soft peter. You see what I'm saying? My cousin said, he said, you don't drink the soft peter. And I said to him, what is soft peter? He said, it's not called soft peter. It's called something else. They used to give it to the GIs when they were in World War II. You know what I'm saying? They keep the aggression levels down. But it lowers your testosterone. That's why they call it soft peter, because it makes your peter soft. And he said they give it to you. It's like Kool-Aid. It's like Kool-Aid, but they put some chemical in it and they call it soft peter. He said when you get in there, you don't want to have that soft peter, yo. Yo, he said you don't want to have that soft peter. Yo, so when he went to MDC, he never went back to prison. My bad, y'all. Um, yeah, he was just telling me that all the stories, and I didn't believe him. I was like, what the hell is soft peter, man? But I looked it up. It's really a thing. They don't call it. It's a name for it. It's not like soft peter, but there's a name for it, and you don't want to drink it because it really. He said they do that to lower the aggressions in jail. You said if he said it, I believe Coach Prime would step in and make it correct. But here's the thing, though. There ain't no correcting that. Like if Tom felt that disrespected by it, I understand it. It's over now. Like it's over. The NFL has already spoken. If that's why they did it, it's over now. He got drafted. Now he just got to go on with his career. Right? It's over now. So that's how we got to treat it. But at the end of the day, I don't believe all that. They can miss me with that. All right, I'm back. I had to change up again. Yeah, I don't believe all that. They can miss me with it. All right. Yeah, they can miss me with all that. Um, yeah, I just don't believe that. But the only reason why I brought it up because Skip brought it up. Somebody told me, well, Skip said this. I was like, really? I didn't hear that, but I had to keep finish listening to it. You say you think somebody might flip out in the courthouse? They got a lot of that's not happening. They have a lot of security around. That place is heavily fortified. Yeah, it's called not soft Peter, it's salt Peter, SALT Peter. But some people call it AK soft Peter because it make your Peter soft. They call it soft Peter too. They'll give you they if you request for it, they'll give it to you in an abundance. And it's free. The guards are willingly giving it to you. Here, take this this Kool-Aid. Because it kind of tastes like Kool-Aid. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go to the other spot. Shout out to Shedeur. I mean, everything is fine. They lying on him though, but it's all good. Um, he'll get his opportunity and keep it pushing that way. But damn, I mean, the slander is outrageous. It's unprecedented. But it is what it is. He built for it though. That's just he was already built for it. So it is what it is, man. Let's go on with it. I'll go on to the trial now. All right, y'all.